Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast down for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important. I'm just a question asker. I'm just a question asker. They say sometimes I'm the irritator, agitator, and all kind of men that start giving me all kind of names. I don't know where to get this stuff from, Leonard. Maybe you could help me. But this is my brother from another mother, but we got the same father. This is Captain Leonard. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow family.
Leonard, I know you watched some of the stuff. Like I looked at some of it myself, man, and a lot of stuff came out from the time I looked at the hearing. I guess is what you would call it, the hearing. What did you get from it last night, Leonard?
I think that the committee has done good work,
Mm-hmm.
and that one, how they laid out what they set out to prove, to
Mm-hmm.
show evidence, and bring forth witnesses to the fact that there was a plan, conspiracy for insurrection in
Mm-hmm.
this country to destroy the vote and overturn the vote, to
Mm-hmm.
install people in certain places, to physically take control of the government of the United States of America.
Wow. You think right now the foundation that they're laying, they're proving that point?
Yes, all the evidence is there.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it for yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
any American that supports that type of behavior and still supports Trump and anyone else who supports him that is even attempting to run for office
Mm-hmm.
need to be almost taken into custody.
Wow, wow. Explain to my listeners, for the ones that may not be clear, um, what are quote unquote the Proud Boys?
The Proud Boys is just another white supremacist organization
Mm-hmm.
hiding behind this quote patriotism that they talk about,
Mm-hmm.
but really they're just a bunch of angry, out of control individuals looking for an opportunity to become the next ISIS.
Mm-hmm. Wow, wow. Where lies the difference between them and the KKK
It's just today's 2022, and there are
version?
certain types of things that one thing about that period from watching various footage,
Mm-hmm.
I see a level of ignorance that is very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Those people are very strange
Mm-hmm.
in their demeanor, the things that they say, and their conversation. It
Mm-hmm.
just reeked of unintelligence
Wow.
and hatred and just profound ignorance. Those people are not as ignorant today.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you think that now being 2022, you would think, some people would think, certainly not the case, but you would think that, and we got a call, I'm going to go to the phone call as well, but you would think that in 2022 we would have gotten to a place where we wouldn't be standing where we're standing right now, where all this hate and racism and manipulation and all those things would not exist. What do you say about that, Leonard? Why are we still there?
Well, I don't particularly share that point of view.
I
We're
mean,
still
I'm
we're
looking
still
at this
there.
problem. Yeah.
We're still there because we have still allowed these same individuals to be in position of authority.
Okay. Okay. I see where you're
That's
going.
why we're still
Okay.
there.
I see where you're going. Got you. Got
Just like my feelings about the situation at the end of the Civil War,
you. Mm-hmm.
Reconstruction did not happen properly.
Mm-hmm.
The South was still allowed to continue certain behaviors.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I
And
see where you're
so
going.
so now we have those same people, a lot more refined, a lot more resources, a lot more access to those resources and opportunities and other people to convince that they should join this cause.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And one of the things that they said, I'm gonna go. I think we have Curtis on the phone now. One of the things that we said that was said last night as well while I was watching, that the numbers, when they had the little call, when they had the little trumpet call or whatever, and pun intended, when they had a little trumpet call, um, the numbers for the quote unquote Proud Boys tripled
Yes.
because of the call that was put out there.
Yes.
And so it's almost like they were just sitting in wait.
Hmm. That's what they want. That's what
Mhm.
they desire. See, this is what happens when people. There's one thing to threaten and to say things, but there's another position when you have the opportunity and the resources to act on your threat.
Mhm.
And that means that the threat is viable.
Mhm.
America has seen how viable the threat is. We see
Mhm.
certain things happening now that did not happen before. However, they are still biased.
But see, Lynn, let me go. I'm gonna go to Curtis, and we got Captain. Captain is with us as well. But my thing is, Curtis, this is it's a new day. It's a new day now, and some of the things, some of the privileges that they had back during those days, here in 2022, they're not gonna have the same privileges, man. They're gonna get a lot of pushback. Let's talking about the Proud Boys. They're gonna get some pushback if they try to come and do some of the things that they did back in those days, back in the day, the good old days, what they will refer to it as. But the result is not going to be the same, Curtis. And good morning. How you doing this morning? What do you say to that?
Man, I'm all right. Um, when you say the results not going to be the same, you mean like the results not going to be the same from
Well, they're not
like the
going to be
days of Jim
they're
Crow?
not going to be able to go there and just bully their way through and do everything. Everybody just sit around and just watch and let it happen. They're going to get some pushback in this day and time.
No, they going to get more than just some pushback. Man, listen, man. If you listen to Leonard and Cap talk, right, that is a clear and evident sign that, hey, folks, you are not dealing with the same black folk that you was dealing with 60 years ago,
Yeah.
70 years ago, 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You're not dealing with them same black folk.
Mm-hmm.
Black folk, brown folk, minority folk, period. Now realizes how important it was when Dr. King said, we're gonna make this country live up to what it says on paper.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And then on top of that, you know what? Let's just be honest. The pushback is going to come from within their own community. They are segregating themselves. If
Mm-hmm.
you realistically think about it, I remember Cap said something that I've been thinking the whole while that all this foolishness been going on, right? When you looked at all them protests over those cop killings and this, that, and the third, and you want to say Black Lives Matter and this, that, and I saw more white folk out there protesting than I saw black.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw just as many Caucasian brothers and sisters out there protesting as I saw black.
Mm-hmm. And see,
So
Curtis, and I say to that, man, and I say to that this, good people are good people, and good people are going to be good people regardless of the situation or the circumstances. Good people can be good people, and it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, orange, polka dot, or little stripe. If you're a good person, you're gonna be a good person. You're gonna stand up for a good and a right cause. But go ahead.
that's my point exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, honestly, I believe that is where our country is trying to go.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a small percentage who is in control of the economic base that knows if the country goes in that direction, they will lose their money, their privilege, and their power.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Let's keep this thing going. Captain, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, my dear brothers. Peace to the gods. How y'all doing?
Hey, peace to you as well. We're talking about the hearing that started last night and all the evidence that came out that they said hadn't come out before, and the case that they're laying out, the foundation that they're laying, if you will. I don't know if you got an opportunity to look at, watch, or view any of it. Did you see any of it last night?
Oh, no, sir, brother. Beyond, I'm not going to waste my time looking at that. I'm sorry. Those who has an interest, fine. I just didn't have no interest in it, dear brother.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the quote unquote the Proud Boys, the new age, I guess you would say, KKK. We say that if they think that it's going to be the way that it was back in what they refer to as the good old days, where you had a lot of humble brothers that would just sit back and let it happen, man. If they looking for that in 2022, man, they in for a rude awakening. What do you say to that, Captain?
Well, there's a saying that goes like this: power concedes to nothing without a demand.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we met with Abe Rothman, with the leader up in New York. I was part of the security detail, and I never knew how wealthy this man was. We met with him at his beautiful penthouse, and Abe Rothman, as you know, was over Seagram.
Mm-hmm.
He controls Vicon, he controls orange juice, and as the minister was sitting there with him, I'm in the kitchen with the security, and Abe Rothman was saying to the minister, "Do you drink orange juice, Farrakhan?" He said, "Yes, I do, sir." He said, "That's me." He said, "You like to go to the movies, Farrakhan?" He said, "Yes, sir, Mr. Rothman. That's me." And what he was doing was bragging about, see, we are in the position of power. And then he used these words: if you want us to change, just look at his words, then make us.
Mm.
And do you have the power, black people, to make us change? You
Mm.
feel what I'm saying? So we have to begin to understand, as the minister said, Mr. Brofman, if a gnat took a morsel of bread from your plate, you ain't even got the power to call it back.
Mm.
So
Wow.
can you tell that gnat, hey, bring that morsel of bread back?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't do nothing, Mr. Brofman, if God don't permit you.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned that those who think they can deal with us, that's like me going fishing and keep using the same old bait because I'm used to catching the same old fish with this same old bait, but the fish is different now.
Mm-hmm.
And the bait I used 5 years ago, it don't work. White people bait don't work no more. All of their old tactics, it don't work no more.
Mm-hmm.
We are more
Mm-hmm.
advanced. We are more knowledgeable. And so let them try that old. See, there's a young generation. Let me tell you something. In the schools, when you talk about mass shootings, see, you can talk about mass shootings in the white school, but if you come up in the black school, you're going to have some of the young boys return fire because they got guns in the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
black
Yeah.
school. Them young boys, they got backpacks with, and they wish a daggone active shooter come up in the hood. It
Mm-hmm.
ain't going to be
Mm-hmm.
no walk in the park. We
Exactly.
have grown to a certain attitude that if we're going to sit there and let some proud boy, you know what my man said? He says the KKK had took off the white robes and put on the black robes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
The KKK don't no longer wear white, they wear blue. So we have to understand the mindset of this government is the mindset, but it ain't what somebody call you, is what you answer to. I
Absolutely.
wouldn't give 2 cents about no proud boys, white boys, or black boys, or whoever boys. We got a
Mm-hmm.
goal to make in our community. It
Mm-hmm.
ain't got nothing to do with white folks. It
Mm.
ain't got nothing to do with the powers that be.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is stopping Brother Dennis. Nobody's stopping Brother Leonard. Nobody's stopping Brother Curtis. Nobody's stopping us from being men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't give attention. Look here. I don't give attention to that does not exist. We keep giving life to madness. I ain't got no more to say.
Good deal. Good deal. You said plenty, sir. You said plenty. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Did you watch it last night? Any other hearing?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What did you get from the first day?
First, I want to ask a question. Why was Raheem, Kurt, Leonard, the whole team of DKM and Morning Glow? I'm trying to find out, why were you guys marching to that White House and tried breaking up stuff hitting people, hitting officers. Why were y'all there? That's all I want to know. Why did y'all go out there to Washington, D.C. and just try to storm? Because y'all know y'all can't get away with that. Y'all know y'all can't get away with that, but y'all went there and y'all tried that. Okay? So that was my first question. I have never been so disappointed in this great, and I'm putting that in quotations, country, as I was from the first time this happened, because anybody that couldn't see what was happening, it was a shame. But to see it on tape last night in real time, I mean, you actually watching these people do what they do, and then trying to say that it was just a protest. Hello, somebody. I would love to see BLM try to do that kind of a protest, and we can say it wouldn't have been no different. That's a damn. That's a lie.
Yeah.
That's a lie. It would have been a whole nother story had it been BLM or any other group of Black people, or Latino people, or Indian people, or any other group doing that. It would have been a whole nother story.
Yeah, and anybody that has any sense at all knows that. And if they've been honest and true with themselves, they know that. But go ahead, Cassandra.
Yeah, but I was hurt. I sat there, I cried, because I could see the pain and the people that were testifying. I could see their pain, the pain, and you could see people. I watch everything about people. You could see people swallowing hard.
Yeah,
all of the indications that the trauma is real. You understand? So for you to say it was just, or anybody to say it was just a regular day at the state capitol. Hello, somebody.
Wow.
Y'all was going up in there, Raheem, just to look, because you on tour. So you had to break out the windows and climb on the dang on walls so that you could get a look at Nancy Pelosi office. What is wrong with y'all? Raheem, I'm asking you why you did that.
Correct. Look at I just wanted to make sure that the building was secure. I want to make sure the security of the building. I want to make sure. So if somebody want to do something like this, Cassandra, I want to make sure they're not gonna be able to get in. So I'm checking the structure. That's all it is.
Okay, I'm just saying. All right, that's me.
Just checking the structure. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm like with Miss Cassandra. You can't sit here. I mean, just imagine somebody gonna call in here today that supports that type of behavior. There's somebody gonna call in here today and try to justify supporting a party that ain't even supporting itself right now. And their behavior, their attempt to overturn an actual election. Since when do we think that is the proper way that we do business here? Since when does that become acceptable for you to, like, say, for instance, having been in so many different activities? This has never been the objective of those activities. To destroy public property and to do all things. That objective is usually never there in anything that I have been a part of. This was a planned conspiracy with support of actors within the government as well.
Yeah.
This wasn't just a little fight that broke out at the park where people were fighting one. No, these people had an agenda. They have testified to having an agenda. And now you get to hear even more condemning information
firsthand
about the people that was involved. That particular officer. This should set up a red flag. Why don't we have a combat-ready team that protects that Capitol building? Why? It shows you all these types of things where we're falling short. Every time there's a mass shooting in a school, and you have to ask yourself, why haven't we done differently as it relates to our security?
They say there was another shooting. It wasn't in a school, but yesterday in Maryland, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, and also to clear up some information we talked about
Yeah,
before.
it was up there in Columbia.
I think the reporting criteria for a mass shooting is when there are either 4 or more individuals
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the criteria usually used for a mass shooting. And mass shootings are not motivated all the time by racism and things like that. You have some mass shootings, it just happens. I've heard of parties getting shot up, graduation parties. There's terrible things going on that way. However, this issue and what people need to realize, don't lump it together with everything else. These are actors. We have black political prisoners that have been incarcerated since the 70s. Don't just let these people walk away and give them menial time. They need to be treated like I always will say, as enemy combatants of the United States of America. They should be treated exactly like every Arab or foreigner that would have done so. They should be treated that way. Because this is not the end. You understand what I'm saying? This is not the end of that type of effort. And so we have to make sure that we diligent when we hear things, or even when we see things in social media and on Facebook. Report those things that you see. Don't just assume that somebody else is going to do it. Some people may simply be entertained by an attempted insurrection against the United States of America. Some people may think it's a laughing matter what happened on January the 6th. There were some people that didn't even believe we should have investigated it, nor should we be holding hearings. Ask yourself, why is that? It's the same reason why Donald Trump didn't try to stop it. Because they support this type of behavior and they sympathize with those individuals on January the 6th, and they should be looked at as potential terrorists.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I got kicked out there for a second, y'all, to kick me out. But Captain, what's on your heart, man? It layers to this whole thing. What are you seeing? What are you hearing?
Well, I can say to everybody on this line, it's okay for you to say in 1995, October the 16th, over 1.2 million black men was on the mall. And after it was over with, it was the most cleanest event that white folks said ever. We didn't leave no paper on the ground, no chicken bones. 1 point, look here, 2 million men. I helped organize it. If you look at the video, you see me standing behind the minister.
Yeah.
And there was no looting, there was no tooting, and there was no shooting. And they had the whole National Guards and every army in the daggone army waiting for us to act a fool. Clinton left the White House that day. He wanted to make sure he wasn't around. They were just waiting for us. And you know what? It was the most peaceful assembly of black men in history. Now, we just do it one time. We came back the year later, and we did a Million Family March, another million people. Again, no insurrection, no tearing up. We left it clean. Then we come back and did a million more movement. Again, clean, no problem. Then we came back and did the Justice or Else. 4 times we was on that Capitol, and not one problem. So y'all can claim that. Y'all can say, this what we did. Y'all, we can give you the okay on this line and say we, because it is a victory for us, not the Muslims. 95% of the people was Christians. So you can say that. So we did that. So go ahead. It's okay. I give y'all the okay to say we. But other than that, man, come on. We have proven to be the most civilized people on this planet. And all we have to do, man, is let them do what they, because what you're looking at, and I'm telling y'all that, y'all looking at the fall of America. And don't get mad, because ain't nothing you can do to break the fall. It is the breakup of a world that God is not pleased with. and the establishment of the kingdom of God that he is with. So we're looking at one, as Malcolm said, the fall of one nation means the rise of another. Let's focus on our rise and let them handle their demise. That's what they got coming. That's justice. I'm through with it.
I'm working on the phone lines, y'all. It said we have some issues with the phone lines, so I'm working my way through that right now. So y'all bear with me for a second, so I can get everything up and running. As let me see here, Leonard. How do we get here, Leonard?
It's a natural progression of evil people with evil agendas. There are, this I can't stress more. What worries me more are people who are not aware of this. I've been here 51 years. And this is as common to me as getting up in the morning. There always will be a struggle of righteousness against evil. It has never stopped. So when people act like they don't know what's going on or blah, blah, well, how long you gonna not know? How long you gonna not know? You know your character. What side are you on? I'm a pick a side type person. You show me what side you're on by how you behave and the decisions that you make. So that leads me to have to govern myself accordingly.
Yeah,
I don't look around and and act like I don't see what I see. Like I said, I don't know what some people have been doing all their life, but I've always been trying to survive and do the right thing. Now, if you have been doing something else, what is that something else? I don't sit around, it's when I say someone's ignorant, it's not negative because you can change that situation. But when you don't want to know, or when you want to accept lies over truth and evidence and facts, I don't want nothing to do with you. So you need to get yourself up to speed if you're interested, because what happens is, say for instance, we have people still supporting the Republican Party after this, because one thing that was evident of this right now is that the Republican Party's destruction is close. However, you got to account for half of America are still wicked. And that half of America still goes to the polls religiously to vote. While you all that's supposed to be, quote, about right and righteousness, over here planning to change things by doing nothing.
Wow.
It's an embarrassment that you still got a reason or some desire or belief that you should not vote. That means you don't know what democracy is about.
Exactly. Let's keep this thing going. Before we do that, let me get a phone number 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Has rectified. We fixed that situation going on with the phone line. They're open and waiting on you to call in. We want to hear from each and every one of you. Now, Rico, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. Welcome to a beautiful new day, man.
Hey, welcome to you as well, brother. Did you look at the hearing last night?
Yeah, I watched it.
What'd you get from it, Rico? Tell me, let me hear your heart on it, brother. What did you hear?
Well, this is my heart on it. I'm gonna go along the line yesterday because there's only one expectation that I really need from this. After all this is said and done, and they reveal all the information, is anybody gonna be prosecuted and punished to the full extent? Because if they just doing a hearing, just expose people and slap them on the wrist, it's a joke. And they just did it for Nielsen ratings, and they just did it to distract us once again and to appease us and give us something that's about it. Same old thing. They ain't gonna know what we going to do about it. It might help for the vote. That's what I think it's mainly about. See, when them midterms come around, Man, it's gonna be hard on them Republicans. Ooh, it's gonna be hard on them Republicans. But see, when the Democrats get in office, what they gonna do like Obama did when he came in office and say, well, we ain't gonna investigate 9/11 and Bush and Cheney and these weapons of mass destruction and these buildings toppling down, being demolished, and they claiming all this other mess. No, we ain't gonna investigate that. We just gonna let them go on and live freely. You know, they had a congressional hearing about John F. Kennedy. Found out, came out, finally told the truth. But who in trouble for it? So I just watched it just to see what they were gonna say. But I ain't got no heart about it unless I know gonna do about it. Other than that, we just being in and giving something to talk about to distract us. Some more sensationalism, some more programming, and some more distraction from what we should really. With the fact that we should be paying attention to this. But if they ain't gonna do nothing about it, stop the next. We talk about evil begetting more evil and good begetting more good. Supposed to be getting by the kidnapping again.
Wow.
They were gonna storm the Capitol. I've seen people get so much time for conspiracy to sell drugs, but these jokers ain't got charges to commit terrorism. They went all the way to another country and took out a hold on behalf of terrorism or weapons of mass destruction. The Wolverine Watchmen wanted to bomb the Secret Service and use rockets. They were planning with other groups in other states, doing run-throughs to storm the Capitol. Then they changed their mind and decided to kidnap the governor. They know all this, and they no conspiracy charges. It's just kidnapping. So what's going to happen with these people? They're going to get charged with attempting to kidnap Pelosi, and that's it? I want to see the consequence. I want to know what are they aiming for. I want to hear somebody say, you know what, after we get this evidence out and we find a link and go back to Bannon and all these white nationalist groups and these militias and tie y'all in together, we're rounding y'all up, and we're going to throw away the key when we lock y'all up if we don't them Black Panthers. Get up out of here and go to Cuba like some of them. But you ain't finna get no slap on the wrist for no kidnapping. So I ain't interested in nothing until I know what the punishment and consequences is behind what they did, because it's obvious what they did. This was domestic terrorism.
Captain, I want to ask you this question, and this could be a question, and you answer the question in the way that you see fit. What would you say to an individual that come up to you and they say this whole situation that happened with the insurrection, and I'm gonna call it that, insurrection? If somebody would have come to you, Captain, and say, well, what was God in all this? Captain, how would you respond to that?
Well, I mean, you know, the sad part is you can't get upset when you see the dog cock his leg up to the fire hydrant. It's just the nature of the dog. I'm so into what I have been taught over 50 years that I don't underestimate them. When you see what you see, it's like when we go into a store, dear brother, the man is so busy following Black people around the store, he ain't paying no attention to the white boy that's stealing. If it was an Arab that come on the plane, everybody looking at the Arab and see a terrorist. If it's Black people, they're going to look at us. But little did they know that their own kind came and they dropped their guards on their own kind. And their own kind have shown that they have lost the respect for their own republic. And we sitting here talking about, well, I want to see them prosecuted to the fullest. I know that's a good, you want to say you don't give us the same, okay, all right. But in reality, man, they live by two different standards, and don't become disappointed, because, you know, you're not going to get justice. Now, they may get justice among their own kind, but what do we want justice? Man, we got a whole different type of fight. So if somebody came up to me, I'm going to say, listen, brother, that's fine. I really don't, and I'm not insensitive to America, but, you know, man, I'm fighting a different fight. And don't get mad at me because I'm fighting a different fight. Because what we dealing with, you know, is so serious that, man, I mean, let them deal with their government. That's white folks at white folks. You know, I mean, we sit there and look at them, and sometimes we don't like what we see, but in reality, it ain't not nothing shocking. I don't know why it's so shocking. It's their history. I think we put too much into it of stakeholders as we are stakeholder, and in reality, then nobody invited us to dance. We just got to keep it 100, and I just think we need to keep folks. I ain't knocking nobody who's into that. If you politically, I'm not into that. I'm sorry. There's no disrespect. That's just not my forte. But those who are politically have an invested interest, you're supposed to be upset if you got an invested interest. You know, sure, I got a different invested interest. So if that's your invested interest, be mad. Watch it. Get upset. That's what you're supposed to do if you got an invested interest. Politically, socially, morally, economically, fine. I salute you.
Good deal. Good deal. And Captain, a lot of some of what you said actually got kicked out again. So some of what you said was actually missed. With the people that was watching could still see it, but some of the panel missed some of what you said because of the fact that I got kicked off on my end here. Round this up in a nutshell. The beginning of what I can still hear because I was watching as well. But give me the beginning part of what you said about, and when I asked the question, people asked what was God. You said about if a dog cock up his leg or something like that. That's give us a little bit of that.
Well, what I was saying is, if it was God in it, God is all in it. I mean, how you not see God's hand? If you believe in the scripture, you know, there's a part in the Bible, y'all know this part. Babylon the Great is falling. But if God is bringing down this government, a republic that has been unjust and dealing with people of color, don't get mad when you see it come down. Only reason you upset is because you got an invested interest in it. I don't have an invested interest. And if your invested interest is morally, spiritually, economically, politically, man, that I can understand you being upset. I'm sorry. But God is bringing this republic down. It's an unjust nation. Y'all talk God, but God's all in it. And we don't have the power to bring them down. So evidently there's a power greater than them. So they slept. And so when I said about the going into the store, you see the black man being followed by the white man. But who is the one doing the stealing? It ain't the black man, the white man said, because they don't believe that they're the thieves, but they have proven they stole us. So I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not insensitive to those of you who want to talk about this. That you got investors, you got the right. And I support your right. I just try to keep my opinion to myself and, you know, keep, you know, and go like that. Thank you for asking me that question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cassandra, what do you say to that? If somebody would have come to you, one of your friends, a young person come to you, a young teenager, and they say, man, all this stuff going on, they're doing all these different hearings and all that stuff, and they tore down the Capitol building. But where was God in all this? Why didn't God stop it, Cassandra? What would you say to them?
The same thing said, these are things that have to take place. I understand that, and I think if you're spiritual at all, you understand that there is something to bring. And since man isn't willing to change, I think a lot of things so that you have to pay attention. And that's what I think this situation was. It was like, okay, so acting like ain't nothing happening and y'all blind to what's going on around you. Now let me show you how serious these people are about, and it's called for a lot of people. There's people in politics and outside of politics. Anybody that saw that and did not realize that it literally could have been a total bloodbath if those people had gotten in and gotten to the chambers and started killing Republicans and Democrats, because half of them, who, especially with the white group, now the blacks, they might just kill them. But we really have to pay attention to what's going on. And I believe that this was all a part of God revealing, because we're living in a revelation
prophetic time. Those of us that are Christians, we know that. We are living prophetic time. So actually taking place right now in real time.
Wow. Leonard, what is at the end of the day, and I can agree with a piece and a part of what Rico said, but at the end of the day, if it's just a hearing, if it's just something that they're just doing because they feel like they have to go through the procedure, if you will, and nothing is really done, what was the purpose?
The purpose of it is to actually, you have to have information, and information has presented. This procedure has been around for hundreds of years. That's not new. This is what Congress is supposed to do. This is part of their responsibility. So they need to do that. What is different is the people that are on the committee.
Do you trust them, Leonard?
The difference. I don't trust how. What do you mean?
The people that the board that they've assembled on the committee. Do you trust that board to do the right thing?
Yes. Why wouldn't I? I mean, what's
question,
what when you say right thing? What is that? They're doing their job. They're doing what they're supposed to do. What else do you think they're doing?
What should be the end result?
Well, hopefully they will be able to get some convictions, and hopefully the Attorney General of the United States will see fit to do that. But they're to gather this information and to decide what they are going to do. Other people that, like I said, that have been connected to this issue have been receiving various, based on who they are and their records, also judgments against them already. Now, if I were in charge, I would probably be giving out life sentences.
Wow.
Because I don't think they would allow me to execute those I chose. But that, for instance, I'm not up to it in the point where people have to do what I want them to do. They need to do what they should do, which is prescribed by law. That's what I'm interested in. Nothing new, no new feelings or anything like that. You must do what you should do by law. You've exercised that you know how to do that before. So you shouldn't have no problem doing that now.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
I was when we was on break or whatever, the system kicked us out. I just told Rico, I said, look, here's how I perceive everything I saw yesterday. That is the greatest paralegal team ever assembled in the history of law. And what we are witnessing, to back Cassandra, what we are witnessing is not only the prophetic saying that came out of Genesis, but we're witnessing what the prophetic sayings that's coming out of Revelations all at the same time. Because Genesis speaks something to the effect of the slavery, the ending of slavery 4 years or something like that. And then we all know what's in Revelations. But at the end of this, the Justice Department will have enough information that at the least they can hand out a bunch of indictments and charges for conspiracy on people like Stone and Mike, people like that, Trump. My opinion that what you're seeing, all of the evidence be laid out, which will inevitably fall on the Justice Department to say, okay, now we can move on charges. We're dealing with a group of men who have a lot more money, average person. So they can pay for these big shot lawyers and this, that, and the third. So in order for you to launch a case, you definitely got to make sure that your case is what they used to call airtight.
That's good. That's good.
So it's right. And everyone is right in saying that what is going to be what if nobody is charged for any of this, like truly charged, not the smack on the wrist, not the 30 days, not the time served, none of that. If nobody truly goes to jail or is held accountable, democracy as we know it will no longer exist.
Wow.
We might as well pack our bags and move to Russia.
Wow. Rico, mute your line there, Curtis. Got some background noise coming from you. Rico, let me ask you this question.
Sure.
If there's a corrupt, let's say sheriff, if there's a corrupt sheriff running the town, and he's corrupt, he's doing everything against the law that you could think of to benefit himself, should we be so gullible to think that this corrupt sheriff is going to arrest and indict himself?
You must just want a one-word answer then. No. Hey, what kind of detail can I go in with then? Plain and simple, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, that's like, yeah. I can't even, dodge in that one, man. It's just plain and simple. You can't expect that. I mean, why would he indict himself?
Exactly. And so
that would be a first. You know what I'm saying?
Is that almost like a situation that we're in? Is that like a situation we're in right now?
Oh yeah.
Is that like a situation that we're in right now? Pretty much.
Similar. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There are people in place that can push the envelope. Of course, some of them like I remember Representative. I don't know if she was from South Carolina or Georgia, but she was one of those people that was mainly pushing for investigating 9/11 for being an inside job from within the United States. And man, they went against. I mean, that sister was strong, and she was telling the truth. You know, a lot of the stuff the conspiracy she found is very factual. You know, like obvious that we need to have an investigation because they're trying to tell us that the skies. We saw the way those buildings went down, but the people that had the opportunity to do it protected the culprits. You know, and they chose to go out and target whoever and go along with the agenda to go over to Afghanistan and flood us with heroin. And it ain't the first. Once again, we see these companies in rotation. They continue to keep working the same system, same formula. You know, and then we say, well, are they going to prosecute themselves and indict themselves? But the only way they can is if you put the right people in place that's supposed to have the authority or the ability to do so. But if you don't participate, I think Leonard said this earlier, about 50%, I might be wrong. I think he said something about the preach about not voting and vote being a waste of time.
Yeah.
Hey, well, how can you expect to put the right people in place when the people that are putting the wrong people in place, they participate?
Yeah.
I just had this conversation yesterday. If the vote isn't worth a dang, why are they so I'm gonna say dead? If the law isn't worth anything or the vote isn't worth anything, why they make such an effort to keep you from doing it?
Yeah.
Do some common sense. These people trying to keep you from something that you have a right. Just can't lay down and say, well, okay, you can have it, screw it. It don't mean nothing, no way. But to the polls.
Yeah.
Every chance they get. So you can't indict themselves, and I mean that's obvious. So you got to put the right people in place that will hold the other ones in check. That's why it's about a checks and balances.
Absolutely.
The government is supposed to be about checks and balances. But we know differently. But if the people don't stand up, the government do what it's supposed to do, like these insurrectionists tried to, and like those Wolverine watchmen do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was thinking about this earlier, man. I can't think of one black person I know of with a bunker that they can survive in for 3 months, much less 3 days.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But you know how many people out here got underground bunkers, man, with generators that they can do years or longer? So they could grow food and live down there forever if they choose to. And solar systems above ground, so they can generate power for their bunkers, their underground home. Big money. They done dug up in the mountains, building homes, trying to prepare for something. And we just out here trying to have events and have a good time and smile in each other's face and recognize each other. Yeah, you somebody. But they preparing for survival. Holy so. They have a different priority that is totally different from ours for the most part. So, you know, it's our job, man. It's the job because it's people that's in place in these positions that's doing what they're doing. They're people too. They're human beings.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like we are.
Exactly. And man, there's so many different layers to this thing. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, good morning. How you doing this morning?
All right.
Did you watch the hearing last night at all? Did you look at any of it?
I was hot as a firecracker.
What you hot for, Tucson? What you hot for, man? What you talking about?
Because here's the thing, man. You've seen it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Why are we having a trial? Just first prosecute. They're on camera. It's visible. Supposedly one of the most secure buildings in, if not this country, or if not in this world, in this country. And they walking around vandalizing and this, and you got them. You see their faces, even if they got some paint on it. They're there. You're not supposed to be there. You're not on tour.
Well, Tucson,
and pushing your way.
What Tucson? What they was trying to do? They were just trying to make sure. They're trying to make sure the building is secure, man. They're just trying to make sure that if anybody try to get in there, they want to find the loopholes in the building so they can't get in. They trying to help. They trying to help.
Okay, well, let them go then. Because see, now months ago, they showed up another group of people. Let me say it like that. And I bet you one thing, they wasn't able to get that far.
Yeah, exactly.
Matter of fact, they was out in the streets, even if there was innocent reporters holding a camera. I saw one of them pop him in the mouth.
Wow.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
So what's the catch? Is it a catch-22 or something? Am I missing something?
Tucson, truth of the matter, I don't know, brother. I really don't know.
I mean, look, here's the deal, and I'm out of my minute. Corrupt society. That's the reality of it. And there are certain people that they prove that they can do stuff that other folks can't do and get away.
Wow.
And the law was back them up.
Captain, talk to me. Captain, let me ask you, what is this going to? Let's deal with our community for a second. What is going to be the benefit of this whole situation for our community, or is it going to be any at all, or is it just another day?
Well, that's a good question, my friend. I was thinking, I remember, Malcolm giving a speech, and he talked about the field Negro and the house Negro. He said the house Negro when Master was sick, he said, "We sick, Master." And if the house caught on fire, the house Negro fought hard to put it out, while the field Negro was praying for a good win. There are two types of people in America in our community.
Yeah.
There are those who believe they have the right to get all the benefits that America has to offer and get upset if they don't get it. Those are we. See, we did this, but there's the people in the hood, in the community that don't give a doggone. They want to see the government come. They happy to see white folks tear down their own flag. They blowing for the win. So there's two kind of people, the haves and the have-nots. So when you take a look at what's in the black community, they ain't paying no attention. They trying to eat. Mama's trying to send their babies to school to be safe and hoping that they come home without being shot and killed. We just trying to survive in the hood. Now, some people may forgot about that because they ain't in the hood no more. God has blessed them to live a better life and get out of that life. They may have some connections, but in reality, the majority of the black, see, it ain't gonna be no difference if they convict people on this trial or not, because gun violence ain't gonna stop in the black community. Good quality education ain't gonna stop in the black community. I mean, get in the black community. We're not gonna deal with all of the businesses that's in our community that does not invest in our community. We don't own businesses. All that ain't gonna stop. It may make us look at that. Now, I had an interest to watch the OJ trial. Now, I sit there and watch that. Why? I'll sit there and watch the Darren who put their neck on my man. I watched that because I had an invested interest. The invested interest, I wanted to see justice of that man putting his neck on George Floyd. I wanted to see justice, even though I don't believe that OJ was innocent, but it's so good to see a black man get away with something every now and then. But the bottom line is this. We have to understand, we have to pick and choose our own battles. I'm not mad with people that believe in the political system. I mean, for real. But I choose the battle in the hood. I choose the battle in the barbershop talk to try to get these young black men stop killing each other. I choose to protect the women in the black community. I choose to protect the children. I choose to try to lift up the boat that's stuck on the bottom. I choose. That's my choice. I don't expect anybody to get there, but I do think
it's almost like it's almost like MMA and a boxer. They're both fighting. It's just a different kind of fight. And
different kind of fight.
Yeah.
Some people fight to change black America from the political system. Malcolm made it very clear: the ballot or the bullet. What Malcolm was saying is, one of these two gonna bring about a change. You can bring about a change through revolution with the bullet, or you can bring about a change through revolution through the ballot. He made it very clear. Ballot on the bullet. There's those of you who choose the ballot and those who choose the bullet. But both is going to bring about a change. It's just what way you understand it.
Leonard, which one, and this individual answer, but which one is more powerful, the ballot or the bullet?
It depends on the fight.
Exactly.
Depends on it. Really depends on the fight. Like I say, I don't do fantasy and romanticism. I don't do you know, big expressions and all that type of thing. I'm about the task at hand. I'm task oriented. Everything else is my time. When I'm working on something, I'm working on something. But that's one thing that I'm working on. So, you know, what Malcolm says is Malcolm's a point of view. It's not like it was that profound. It has always been that decision, which is the reason why he made the comment. Because of his study of history and the condition of men and how they have behaved for thousands of years. Either you proceed civilly or uncivilly. It's a choice. Democracy should go forth civilly. You know what I'm saying? And it's definitely being becoming better and better as a form of government. But not everybody shares that opinion. However, everybody wants to sit back and enjoy what it has accomplished. If I was so against a thing or a person, I would disassociate myself from them.
Okay.
Right now, I hear black people all the time about, we need to do this and we need to go over to Liberia and do that. They actually have laws there that prevent white people from being in power. Go try that out, because they definitely need your help, especially you African Americans. They need your help. So take your blackness over there and form a beautiful government that serves everyone equally and live in peace.
There's see what you just said. There's a need. I'm gonna say it like this: there's a need, not only there, but there's a need across the board, and we have to make sure that the need is met everywhere. And so, and there's a certain responsibility that everybody have to have, whether they take it or not. That's a whole different conversation, a whole different story. But Toussaint, what is more important, the ballot or the bullet?
The bullet's not working. We've been doing that.
You say the bullet does not work?
I mean, it destroys, but it don't. It's kind of like a revolving door. You're gonna repeat it. Just go out there and, I mean, if we put the right people in office, the ballot works. But see, we sit at home and we use the bullet. I'm just saying. I'm not too bright, really. I'm not.
Man, go ahead with that, man. Go ahead with that, man.
I'm just saying, man. But we fought. There was some that fought for the ballot, voting, right?
Yes.
That's what you're talking about.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, they didn't have that right. And look at how much has been achieved. You've seen some things that you have never seen before, that you never thought was possible through the ballot. It sure enough wasn't going to work by the bullet. I bet you that. Because most of the time, the ones that's got the bullet got wounded by friendly fire.
Wow. Cassandra,
I just sit back and watch.
Cassandra, what are you saying? Exactly. Cassandra, what do you say on that? What do you think is more powerful, the ballot or the bullet?
I absolutely believe that the ballot will do more than the bullet. But I'm gonna tell you, if bullets have to fly for us to protect ourselves, and because these people keep talking civil, there are groups right now planning a civil war. They want to start a civil.
I was gonna ask that next. They'll go with your next question. Their
whole agenda is to make sure that there comes a point where there is a real, I'm talking about a physical war between white people and the white people who would fight for us and fight with us. We've always had white people country that stood what was wrong. Always, just check your history and just see that. Always have had that. But if it comes down to it, you have groups right now, militia groups around this country, that their whole objective is to see a civil war break out, because they feel like, they're gonna take out the Negroes, we're gonna eliminate them. If just listen to their rhetoric, if you just listen to some of it, because I listen, I will go on YouTube, listen to their little group stuff that they've had out and put out. These people are evil. And their whole thing is to start a war between black people and white people.
Wow. And that was my next line of question. Rico, do you think there's a group of individuals that's actually has a desire to start a civil war.
You get such an idea.
No.
You honestly believe that there are people that want to start a civil war and don't like us black people, melanated people? No, not in America.
No, come on now.
Did you know
you can't be serious? You can't be serious as to think that.
No, man. Hey, man, come on, man. Highly likely, man. Listen. And the question they had thrown off. He thought it's one of them people in one of those groups sitting back saying, he said, which one? They don't realize it's both of them. They ride together. If the ballot didn't work, we showed you our other option. We'll overthrow this thing, just tear up the whole system. We don't believe in it, and we'll fight to defend it, but we'll fight to tear it up too. If we don't have our way. So you know they showed you that it goes hand in hand. They'll kidnap you. They'll make plans to hang you. They'll make plans to use rocket launchers. Rather than impossible, because evil begets more evil.
Come on.
Success begets more success. So you know, you asked the question earlier. Is it important to the black community? Why, yes, it's very important to the black community. Because what happened is the black people don't understand history and don't know about these Black Panthers that's still locked up. It should have been released 7 or 8 years ago, but it's still locked up somewhere we don't know about. I'm back and never seen their family, haven't seen their family since the 70s or whatever. If we're not careful, some of these young black people are like, well, hey, this is America. We got the same rights they got. We got democracy. Let's get our guns and let's storm the Capitol. And they end up dead or locked up forever like the rest of them Black Panthers, repeating the cycle because they didn't know no better, because they think they got the same option. But for black people to actually pay attention to this, because those of us that know better need to see if they're going to do these people the same way they done did our melanated brothers and sisters. The same fight and did less and got locked up somewhere unknown. Other people in Guantanamo Bay that they went and got from other countries. They did nothing and got tortured, embarrassed and all kind of stuff for 12, 15 years. Probably still over there. What they gonna do to these people? And it's important to mankind to understand what's going on, because if America won't do or won't indict itself or hold itself responsible, don't go around the rest of Cassandra. Is Cassandra on the line?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm about to head to the corner. Meet me there, or beat me there. What the hell they got going on, man? How you gonna go to other countries and do this? But you can't even hold your own people accountable.
Wow.
So I mean, it's very important for everybody to look at this, not just black people, not just in America. It's important for the world to pay attention to what's going on. Double standards, and if the ballot don't work, the bullet will.
Wow. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? The ballot or the bullet? Which one is more powerful in this day and time?
You got to be in the capability of having both.
Talk directly. You're a little bit low, Curtis. You're a little bit low, brother. Talk directly to the phone for me.
I say in this day and time, you got to have both. I'm trying not to sound like I'm screaming. But in this day and time, you got to have both. And the sad reality is, I'm just going to keep it real. Ain't none of us got more guns than the government. Man, I've seen that with my own eyes at firefight exercises and things of that nature, man. They got some stuff, man. They can cause out. And they drop a bomb that'll go in the ground, man. Some people call it a digger, like a digger missile. That missile will go in the ground, just a dud. Seconds later, you see a trio of bombs blow up, specifically made for runways. And now imagine you hit a metropolitan block with one of them. You got these high-rise apartments, you know what I mean? You got these row houses, these African American and brown and white communities. You hit one of them, man, cause mass. So, you know, at this point, it's almost like you can't have one without the other. And what's sad is, you know, I remember 2008 when that man became
Curtis. There for a second, so hopefully we're gonna.
I'm right here.
Okay.
I'm right here.
Yeah,
You hear me?
Oh, okay. I lost him on my end. I couldn't hear him, but go ahead. I got him now. Go ahead, Curtis.
And what's sad is in 2008 when that man became president, one of the first reports that came across the TV, and it wasn't just on MSNBC, it was on all networks. One kind of bragging about the day that they started recording the purchase of weapons, just on January 20th, 2008, then they started recording the data. So today they're tracking the purchase of guns.
Okay.
More weapons were purchased, and they were purchased in in one specific community. So at this point, if you try and run that, man, like I think y'all right, man. I think that's the only other option to have this race war, which they're not going to win because you can't see us at night.
Yeah,
they're not going to win. I think they're going to try it.
Wow.
They're not going to win. You got to get us.
There we go. Toya with a T. Good morning. How you doing, young lady?
Right, young man. Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Toya with a T.
Somebody call David. I got my slingshot and rock. Okay.
Somebody better call him, let him know. Hey, we on standby. But listen, my thing is right here, Toya. I know you watched the hearing last night. Did you look at it?
No.
Mute your line, Curtis.
Somebody got to put their hand on mute.
Mute your line, Curtis.
No.
Okay.
I knew y'all would be watching it for me. What happened?
Okay. Well, I just want to know this. And let me, since you didn't watch it, we're gonna transition to our next question. What is more important in this day and time? What is more important in this day and time? What is more powerful, if you will, the ballot or the bullet?
You said what's more powerful, the ballot or the bullet? Now, what you mean by power? Because you pull a bullet out, everybody's gonna stop. Everybody's gonna do what you say to. You pull a ballot out if you want to, they're gonna look at you and laugh. What's up? They're gonna fan themselves.
No, what I'm asking is,
what kind of power
is the bullet more powerful than you voting, than you casting your vote? Which one gives you more power?
Raheem, it just depends on what angle you're coming from, right? You can't. I don't think you can compare a bullet to a ballot. Two totally different things, two totally different types of power. I can smack in your face all day with a pen and a paper, but it ain't gonna make you. You know what I'm saying? But it's two different types of power, right? So, as an American citizen, everything in writing, it doesn't work for us. We back on that again.
Now, which one you say don't? Which part you say don't work for us? Which is the ballot or the bullet or both?
Neither one of them. But as soon as we come with paper, they're gonna come with a bullet every single time. Every single time. But that's the thing, right? We're supposed to write things down, right? Like the commit, the amendment, right? You know, God spoke it, God wrote it, big thing is human. But it's a catch-22 when you're black. Because you can
There you go. I got you back. Go ahead.
Yeah, then still come drag you out your house. As soon as you start to do everything, as soon as you still do the bullet, you can do all those right things. They still come in with bullets.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So it depends on what position. I'm with both.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about that life. I'm with both. All right, Mr. White Man, Mr. Uncle Sam, you want me to play your game? Okay, I will. As soon as you come this way, I'm going to smack you. And I don't care nothing of agreements, and that's what's important to me. What's important to me is my survival. Not listening to this civilization psychology they got where I don't matter. I don't have a voice. No, I'm with all that. I'm going to take care of myself. I ain't waiting on no pay. You run up on me, I'm going to give me a pistol. No business, period. You want to use court documents? I don't have a problem sitting in court for the rest of my life because I'm going to defend myself. I'm not waiting on America to defend me. I'm not waiting on America for me anything. I'm out here, but I'm going to do it within the guise that their papers and their amendments say. You want me to vote? I'll vote. If you don't do right, I'm going to make some shake. You understand what I'm saying? So it just depends on what angle you get. A lot of psychological mind games for these people. They tell you what you can't do, and you're supposed to stop there because they says that because you're a black female, you can't go to school. Well, I'm going to learn. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care if I got to sit out the window and peek. We got to be careful. The ballot, let's use paper, right? Let's use writing, right? Because they're of a person. Now put that against a bullet. How much power do I have when their paper or their ballot says that I'm 3/5 of the person, but they're a fool and they can use a pistol and I can't? That's not even power to me. Understand what I'm saying? So I'm a child of God, honey, and he gets to override all they little flesh rules, all these little rules that we got down here on earth. My God, he supersedes all of that. So I don't have no time fooling with these people down here. Took them out a paper ballot. I'm gonna get my on you.
Good deal. Good deal. They got to keep this thing going. And let me go to Leonard. Leonard, what's on your heart right now?
What's on my heart is I was thinking of the bravery of this white woman named Liz Cheney.
Yes.
And trying to assemble other Republicans that still have some type of fortitude about themselves. It's okay to have opposing ideas. That's what politicking is about, resolving those political issues. But however, if you would stand by and watch the house burn down, I'm more subject to throw you in that fire. Because you show no concern for no one else. I don't care what evil people have done. That will not be my objective, to be like them. So justice is active. It's about action. It's about doing something and to ensure that it happens. If you're not willing to stand up for it, you don't deserve it.
Now, when you say when you're referencing the house, or you talking about what Captain was saying about the house being burned down and one trying to save the house and the other one wishing for a strong wind, is that what you're referencing?
Not so much as the fact that, one, if you would watch something like America burn to the ground, where are you going to be standing when it burns down? Where are you going? Where are you going to be, and what are you going to be doing? Because I'm trying to figure that out.
Captain, what do you say to that? Go ahead, Leonard. Finish your thought, brother. Hold on, Captain. Hold on. Go ahead. Finish your thought, Leonard.
I'm just asking. If a house is burning down in my community, I try to put the fire out. I pay people and don't have a problem with people building fire stations to go and help people wherever they are if their houses are on fire.
See, I think that's what a disconnect is right there. What we talk about. See, he was actually, I think he was actually talking about. I'm gonna let him speak for himself as well. He was talking about the slave master house during the slave times and how they was being treated. But Captain, what's on your heart? Am I off base?
Yeah, I mean, let's make it. Let's put some real reality to that. I don't want to go to the extreme. Martin Luther King said, "I have made a bad mistake. I have integrated black people into a burning house." I didn't say that. say that? Ask Martin Luther King. What did you mean? You have integrated black people into a burning house. So that we understood what he meant by that. So what I was saying, and you got to remember now, y'all, don't become all of a sudden you don't know history. America was not brought into existence on no ballot. Civil War, bullets brought America into existence. And what did they storm the Capitol for? Have y'all forgot? The reason they stormed the Capitol was to what? Stop the vote. Stop the ballot. They didn't want the ballot. They did not want the vice president at that time to read the ballot. So when you talk about the ballot, they didn't respect the ballot. They used the bullet. The violent uprising was the bullet. It didn't have the gun, but that was the bullet. So as we talking about, well, we know the ballot, listen, let me tell you something. No nation come into existence without the bullet. Now we talking about how black people are going to come to become an independent nation. Show you want to live with them. Show you want to eat off their daggone plate. Show you want to have a part in their life. That's you. That's what you want to do. I don't desire that. And if they was to fall America, that don't mean America, we want the system of injustice that we have been up under this tyranny for 450 years. Don't act like we ain't been treated justly. So if we see a system come down unjustly and they getting their just due, don't get mad at us. That don't mean the whole government going to collapse. That means that system is going to collapse. And if that system collapse, how come we can't have our own system? You got so much stake in them that you can't see yourself. You think all the white people's their ice is colder? Their water's more wet? Huh? Get out of here with that old slave mentality. We are people today. You can't put that we don't want the independence. You doggone right we want it. You talk about you don't want separation. But if you tell me I don't want to be around wicked people, that's separation. You're separating righteous people from unrighteous people. That's called separation. That ain't integration. You ain't integrating sheep with goats. You're trying to live a separate life, but you want to talk unity. Either separation or unity. But you can't live with people who continue to treat you. Now, maybe you a little bit better because you in a different neighborhood. But I'm telling you, the majority of our people, they don't give a doggone about that. They want justice, man. And if they can't get justice with this government, then let God tear it down and we start our own. I want to live with the God of justice. Yeah, the ballot has never been with Start America. She went after Native American. It wasn't the ballot. She came over in the revolution. It wasn't the ballot. The ballot don't come until after the doggone bullet. And if you know anything about the Black Panther, man, brother Malik Sheila, they got the new Black Panther Party. They don't have the same old attitude as the old Panther. Man, y'all need to get on social media to see what time it is. I don't know what hood y'all in. That Black Panther Party is the new Black Panther Party. They ain't about trying to get no guns. No, let's keep that out. That was the old. There's a new one now. So when I'm saying to us, ballot or the bullet, everything starts with the bullet, then the ballot comes. Man, if we can't get justice, man, let me tell you, justice or else. Then you figure out what the else is.
Wow. Rico?
Hey, everybody has their opinion. I agree with them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to me, it's both. Showed yesterday, you know what I'm saying, with first hits, they showed that. They stormed, when they had planned to storm the Capitol of Michigan, they were showing that if they vote in Capitol, you still got to have that bullet, because ultimately, good in that paper, Toya said it. I mean, you know, we could speak philosophically. You know what I'm saying? And when we speak on that end or politically, we could say, well, it's both. That's the reason why we want our Second Amendment rights to defend the vote and this and that and to fight other countries or whatever. Then at the same time, like Captain Dennis said, America wouldn't exist. Actually, the Caucasians wouldn't be dominant, the dominant society, or in a position that they're in if it wasn't for the bullet. So, you know, either way it goes, you know what I'm saying? We could go back and forth about which comes first or which comes second. Either way it goes, you still got to have that bullet in place. For anybody that believes that the bullet is going to be the end, I guess, because to a certain extent it has been the beginning. And if you're gonna fight, sword, what it is? You live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yeah.
Eye for an eye.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what I'm saying? If it started with the bullet, it has to end with the bullet.
Yeah. Is that a scary statement though? Because there's gonna be a lot of bloodshed. There's gonna be a lot of blood on the ground, man. There's gonna be a lot of blood on the ground, brother.
That's not scary.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it has to happen. That's what has to happen unless you want to conform and you want to just accept what is happening. I mean, Nat Turner, he did what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason, when you said something, and to be honest with you, that is the reason why our society is the way it is. Yep. And that's the reason why, like we've been talking about protection and this and that. And
that's why I said that. Yep.
People don't want to sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly why I said that.
People don't want to sacrifice their lives if it may take that. I've been the one, I ain't no being willing to sacrifice material things or risk my life. And so, I wonder, like some people might be ignorant, crazy, evil, but guess what other quality that they had about them? There is a positive quality. And most of those right-wing extremist groups like that quality, even though they may be crazy and deranged and against what we stand for, they're brave. Put their foot on the ground and they got in action and did what they thought they could do, and they did it. And those black people, they were brave. It might be vilified by history of the government, Western history. And they put their foot on the ground and they made sacrifices that a lot of us don't want to make no more.
Exactly.
So that's why I know. Sometimes if it was time to ever go to a war or go to a state, I know who I would get down with because I know who's gonna sell out. Bowl of ice.
Exactly.
Somebody gonna sell out and say, "Well, it ain't that bad."
Those are the
better
ones,
than nothing.
Are those the ones you shoot down first?
Got to.
Yeah. Exactly. We got a Willow. Good morning,
Hey,
Will.
Raheem.
Good morning,
Morning.
Will. How you doing this morning?
Morning.
Well,
I'm doing good.
We got.
I was just listening to everybody. I really have not been following the Capitol. I just hear little bits from when I get on the show and stuff like. When we talk about the ballot and the bullet, this is how I at it. And then the key word was during these times, today time.
Yes.
Today time. People are not really taking the ballot as serious as it should be. Leonard stresses it all the time how important it is to vote.
Absolutely.
But we want to go back. How important it is that we try and put the right people in. And you hear the key word, try, because we just know if things are going to work out, but we look at their skills or their education and we say, well, okay, this is the right person into office, because these are the very people who care about the bullet. Because I look here in the state of Illinois, Chicago. I work I'm a judge at when it comes to the election, and we have 2 precincts in the place where I work. For 1,500 people on each of the precincts that we work at, well, in the place where we work. And out of them, there is maybe 300 that might show up at each precinct. So that lets you know that the people are not taking it serious when they talk about the vote. And then it happens, like here in Chicago, they're messing up downtown. The mayor is putting thousands of police downtown. So she's trying to control it through force. So if it was something that you really wanted to control, you could bring in a national. The people that we put in office are the very people that control it. So I'm saying controlling the power on how they can control us as humans.
That's good.
Look at it. The ballot is the root cause. Because if you try to put the right people in, you then my vision from the people that you put in place. That's what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. It's the root cause of the control of the bullet.
Yeah.
Because they're the one that call out the National Guard. They're the ones, we're going to put these many police officers over here to control these people, or whatever you want to call us, because they give us all kinds of names.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I want to say, Raheem, when I look at it and you want to analyze the whole situation, had the right people in place, it wouldn't have happened the way it did.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion right here.
Good deal. Good deal. VP, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
I pray right.
Good morning. How are you?
Okay, see, we got both of y'all here. I knew both of y'all was here.
Ah,
see, VP called in before you said, so I went to him first. But VP, what's on your heart, man? What is more powerful, the ballot or the bullet? And then there was silence. There will be peace.
Because I was trying to listen to everybody, listening to everybody else, and then how if you look at local government, like here in the state of Connecticut, the local election, you can see the votes working in the way that it's supposed to. Like we wanted to change here in our community, Middletown. So we went and voted largest minority leaders throughout the entire state. And they're actually, and our economy is actually propelling year over year. But if we were allowed the media to tell us that the ballots wasn't working, that once the elections get larger and larger, there's more hands in the pot to steer how we see it going one way or the other. A lot of us, we have electoral colleges with the presidential election, but that's because we're focused on the presidential election and not really focused on those who are truly in power, Congress, the House, and ones that's keeping us stagnate. Those are the ones are pretending like the nation doesn't have problems. So we get what people really go to, because they don't go to the word, they go to social media, they go to newspapers, they go to magazines, they go to history, that they see the bullets work. They see when force is needed, then that's how we overcome, or that's how we redo things. I'm always going to be one to say slow on the bullet ballot first, but at times there's a need for that type of insurrection or overthrow, or I'm assuming this is coming from the January 6th trials, and people be put on trial. Yes, they should. There shouldn't even be a conversation. If you even think they should be put on trial, so far a traitor to this nation. And that's just me as a taxpayer. That's how I feel, hands down, whatever color you are, whatever background you came from. If you don't, these people shouldn't be put on trial and held accountable for what they did, then you're a traitor to this nation. Your thought process and everything that's being fed to you daily is traitorish. The reason it traitored away from, they wanted to be traitors in England, so they came to America, established the British state religion colonies they did here, decided they wanted to be traitors again, and then they became that, and they've been fighting the entire time. Because again, when they wanted to start a nation, they got mad at each other over slavery, and they started fighting each other over slavery, each other. But we supposed to believe in the bullet. It's not the bullet. It's actually being grown adults and talking to things. I mean, there's people out there that need to be eliminated. That it's always that. There's always going to be poor people. Me and my wife had this type of conversation last night. There's always going to be something. But there's way more smarter people in this world than there are dumb. And for some reason, we keep allowing the dumb to rise up to lead us. If we sit still, I'm telling you right now, it's going to become Trump again.
Wow. Wow.
It's gonna happen.
Let me go to Friday. Friday, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Hi, Jerry.
Doing good, sis. What do you say to that? What is more powerful in your view, the ballot or the bullet?
I agree that the ballot is more powerful and can be more powerful than the bullet. The bullet oftentimes provides a permanent solution to a temporary problem that we still have to fix after the bullet's been shot, right? So I would say the ballot, but I do stand a little bit, not much, but a little bit differently in my perspective to why, because, and to also acknowledge the challenges, because, you know, we are humans, we all are, and human beings have shown to be very cruel people, regardless of the background. And so it's easy from one side, oh, I would never, based on the perception of and the experiences of how the country came about in terms of the slaves and how slaves were treated. But if things had started differently, or if we'll say like Black people in power, that in itself doesn't eliminate that Black people would not be cruel to other people because they're human beings. And so when it's all said and done, yes, ballots are to me more powerful. It can be more powerful to bullets because it gives opportunity, correction, and improvement. Where the bullet, once it has, that's it, and there's no, you know, you can quote unquote get people on for a small period of time because of the fear of not wanting to be the end of the bullet, but it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem that's going to reoccur.
Wow. Badger, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Badger, I know you've been listening to the conversation, brother. I need to know what, in your estimation, in your viewpoint, and not looking at it an unbiased opinion, what is more powerful, the ballot or the bullet?
Ballot.
Okay.
For me, the way I look at a lot of this stuff is going it at folks based on the people that have the capability of wording things in such a way to get people motivated or to do things. You know, I watched a hearing and heard a whole bunch of people saying that they did what they did because of, you know, Trump. The person that won the ballot, the person that won the vote. A lot of times when you get someone that is really good at words, they can talk people into doing a lot of things. And it's quite scary. You know, most wars are started with words. And it's yes, guns are guns and weapons are weapons of mass destruction and things like that. But to shoot a nuke, you got to get approval. So I will always be stronger than guns.
That's good. Leonard, talk to me.
It's one thing to you know, as a Christian, I have
get in trouble for using something that wasn't on paper. Just throwing that out there.
Go ahead, Leonard.
One, you know, it just depends on what people are committed to. There are some people who are committed to making this democracy as best as it can be. They're still committed to that. They still fight for that each and every day. That is the reason why they behave civilly, they treat their neighbors properly, and all these types of things. They're decent people. However, you have to accept the fact that everyone is not that way. You got people talking about it distracting you from what? You know, we often use that term, just distracting you from what? Or, you know, who distracts you from anything? Who still does what they're told as opposed to what they desire? Who? You know, just mention that to me. But see, I have a problem with people that see the future as nothing but destruction and turmoil, as if there's no God. Why be a Christian at all then? Why be any, what types of dreams or things do you have for your children? If you don't, why you keep making them? See, you gonna only do right as long as everybody else do right? Where are you going to be when we need you? I understand people that don't vote for, quote, religious reasons. But see, when we get that vote, how do you expect us to treat you if you did not help us? See, if you want to separate, I am about you going and doing that if that's what you would like to do. You talk about why can't we have this? Why don't you have it is a better question. Because you can have it if you want it, but you can't get enough people to invest in it to make it a reality. Because everybody ain't really, the majority and the masses are not on that. So you might want to adjust yourself accordingly. However, there are still some of us that will provide an environment and fight for an environment that allows you to do that if you see fit. Because you can go and you can find places of land and buy it all up and do exactly what you want to do. You control the vote and everything else simply by your numbers alone. But you have not done it. And so once you can do that, then one, yes, you and your people and your tribe or whatever can coexist with everybody else, and you can go over there and do it is what you would like to do. That's the issue. What you going to do, not what you should have done, why you can't do it. Why aren't you doing what you want to do? Because that's not, you know, we can come on here and talk and make all these big things. Well, what is your system? What is your plan? Show it to me. I may want to invest in it. But then when you look at it, it may not work for you. It may not work for Raheem. It may not work for other people. So one thing that this place is about is everybody who have differences coming together and to coexist. And so we have to push all these people that don't want to do that out of this. And we must make it much harder for them to survive.
Good deal. Good. Let's keep this thing going. And the phone lines are open 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm have to do better at practicing my listening skills. Because yeah, for real. Because I look at, and I know that most societies or kingdoms or however people in power were by weaponry. They fight. They overcome. They conquer. It was throughout history. Sooner or later, you want something, that's how you get it. Kill them. The only problem, and the reason why I say the ballot now, is because the the smiling faces that look like you that are not for you.
Smiling faces.
Just because they're in the trenches with you. Sing it, Raheem. Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I mean, people that are in the trenches, that don't mean they're on the same side. People in the house and in the field. You know. And regardless of whether they was in the house or the field, they still called them. Both of them had a slave mentality.
Wow.
You know, some of them didn't want to be freed, even after the ballot.
Wow. Wow. There you go.
It's always, you always, I used to, there has this woman that used to, I wish I could remember the poem that she would.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to identify.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly fighting with you. You might wind up getting shot in the back.
Yes, sir. And know who's supposed to be behind you. The ones that's on your team supposed to be the one that's behind you. Cassandra. Cassandra, you there? Okay, we may have lost Cassandra.
One more thing.
Yes, sir.
How would you like to fight with a scared person?
I wouldn't.
There you go. They'll either get you hurt or kill.
Exactly. No, I would not at all. Ibrahim, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Hold on, I got you on mute there. Let me unmute you. You over there tearing up the place. You over there tearing up the place. I had to mute you for a second. Yeah, but Ibrahim, we asking the question: what is more powerful, the ballot or the bullet? What do you say?
I would say the ballot, and the reason I'm saying that Malcolm X talked about that in 1963, right? And they asked him. He said, "Well, because ballot is a sense of a collective group of people in power. You see, we think that power is money. We think armed military might, but you got to have the people on the same accord. You got to have people co-signing all this, right? Mm-hmm. So the ballot is, in a way, is a group of people stating their opinions of belief in a collective fashion. So you have the power of mind. And I was listening to what Leonard was saying. It's the first time I'm so overwhelmingly agree with Leonard, what a lot of things he was saying, right? And that this is what that we have to look at, you know, as a group of people, right? How do we get to that point where we know that everything else is futile and we have to depend on each other? Look at Moses and look at Moses in the desert, with the people in the desert, you know. When we will get to that point, you know, and the point is when we try to exhaust things and find out there's no longer can be exhausted, but keep an eye on, you know, keep a hand on your weapon. You see, in the Muslim Islam, right? You pray, you set your weapons aside, but you keep your weapon close and in your eyesight near to you. You see what I'm saying? And when you're in that type of battle, right? And I think that is what's most important to us, that we have to know what the people think and control the influence of our people. We're all over just listen to everybody. We're all over the map. We have some of the similar beliefs and ideas and frustration, but we're all over the map as far as our opinions and ideas because all our information is generated by the very enemy that we oppose. We're worshiping people that historically has benefited the enemy. You know, the mentality. I don't mean people of color. I don't mean white people or whatever. I mean the dominated political landscape right now is the European landscape. They call America a white country. All these countries are white countries. They be calling Africa a white country. They called it once South a white country. So these are the people in charge of control. Now, if we don't have our own people on the same accord, you know, want to be in control, want to sit at the table of mankind to make decisions, then you have nothing but futility, right? So I believe that is more important because that identifies a group of people or your ideas and concepts.
Absolutely.
Raheem.
Yes, sir.
Let me also interject something from this. The man, I'm just in awe. I believe he's a great man for doing what he's doing right now. The chairman of this committee. When I close my eyes and I hear our voice still demanding justice. Look at where we're demanding justice. Look at the seat we're in now.
Yeah.
Look at the seat. This brother is from Mississippi. He represents Mississippi. He sits as chairman of this committee. That is profound.
Very.
One of the things that he said, Leonard, was he explained where he's from, and he said, I'm from a place where, you know, a lot of people think that the KKK and stuff like that is right, and the ideology is on point. He said, I come from that place. I was like, wow.
amazing
Yeah.
that he would be the person. When you hear black voices demanding justice, it tells you exactly where justice is and what it must look like and what it should look like going forward.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the positions, you have everything you need to do what you need to do. If you are righteous, you gonna be righteous.
Mm-hmm.
And when in positions of power, you will be doing righteous things.
Yeah.
My problem is, why won't right people support righteousness and do what they are supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
That's the cry. Why won't you go support the right of the matter? Why would you sit back, like I said before, and watch the freaking house burn down?
Let me go to Toya with a T. Talk to me, sis.
Yeah. I just still think that we're talking about two different types of power. Only because the so-called ballot, right? And can we compare the ballot to amended rights, right? That we were free, but they still did not let us free. They still killed us and dragged us out houses. And I'm gonna use that behavior as the bullet. So
Wow.
I see, I hear where everybody coming from, right? I get all that. It was documented, right? Juneteenth, right? Because we had found out 2 years prior that the ballot said we was free, but we didn't find out till 2 years later because they were still using the bullets. So I see the difference or the point of power, but then again, people misuse it. We got to start talking about the humans here. You understand what I'm saying? Because you can say anything, but if you're gonna go back and do something wicked after the ballot, right? If you cheating the ballot, if you got a rigged ballot, if you're not gonna uphold the ballot and its laws you just put in place, which we on here every day talking about things that humans do, that they say screw a ballot. The ballot says that a certain set of laws we're not supposed to do. Humans get up and do what they want to do every day. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I get it, but I think that a lot of our conversations stem off of more than just a ballot, and it's from each individual aspect, right? I'm just kind of, thrown away that I get the importance of the ballot, but I think when you compare it to a bullet, it's too different. Listen, if the chairman of whatever committee in the White House, all of them, if you get them behind a pistol and tell them what they better do, I bet you they'll change that ballot. If you threaten their family, if you threaten to kill, if you threaten to take something with brute force, if anybody from anywhere come here and infiltrate that office, it could have been during the insurrection. If they would have got in there and got them people and told them, hey, you better change this ballot, and they would have changed it. Now, because it was live, you know what I'm saying? Of course, we had proof, but behind the scene, I promise you, a bullet gonna make a person change their ballot. So I feel like the two parties is unbalanced.
Wow. Captain, what's on your heart? Cassandra, coming to you next.
Well, I love Brother Leonard's great language of French. He used the word we. So I said, well, he must know a lot of French. We provide. We what? You think because you represent a republic that you've been part of, that you change the condition of the black community? Man, you need to take your glasses off and see. Maybe them glasses got you blind, partner. Look at the condition. We ain't did nothing. The Republican that you represent, that you've been fighting, that you want to see change, has been good for you. It ain't done nothing, man. Black folks still in the same condition. And let me say this, I like what this sister said. Yes, we put black people in power. We got a Black Congressional Caucus. We got Maxine Waters. We got all of our black people. They're over big committees. I remember John Conyers, the Ways and Means. We've been in power. It ain't like we just now got in power. You talk about the brother from Mississippi. Have you heard about the shooting that was in Jackson, Mississippi? Oh, you got politicians that represent states. But look at the condition of the state that they represent. When you go to the hood of Jackson, Mississippi, Shelby, Mississippi, Tupelo, Mississippi, go look at that. So yeah, oh, we got black people in power. But what good is all that if we can't change our reality? We got more governors, we got more mayors, and let me tell you, people ain't give up on voting black folks. People do believe in the ballot. But you know why they don't vote no more? Because they don't see no change. They voted, they voted for Obama, they see no change. Everything. So don't get mad because people lack voting. You haven't produced what voting have done to change gun violence as it relates to the black community, not as it relates to America. We haven't changed the poverty and the disadvantage of those whose boat stuck on the bottom. That's real. Now, I don't know what reality y'all come from, but every now and then y'all come back. I listen to your language. I hear you. Yeah, well, I'm not saying to throw away the ballot, but when you go over to Africa, they have what you call a coup. When you have a corrupt government that's so corrupt that they rise up, the military rise up to overthrow them and sometimes kill that dictator. They did this in Ghana under my man, Flight Lieutenant J.J. Rawlins. He rose up and overthrew the government of Ghana. And you know what he did? After he did the bullet, then he made a democratic vote for everybody to have a democratic way, and he voted the military, even he was voting. So the bullet is how every revolution, there's never been such thing as a bloodless revolution. You think black folks, we're going to want to get freedom and we ain't going to spill no blood? If you're a coward, then say you're a coward. But you ain't going to get nowhere. And Jesus never was about the government. Don't quote you're a Christian. And Jesus wasn't about voting for Herod or for Caesar. But if we're going to be a Christian, then be a Christian. You can't love God and mammon too. You can't be on both sides of the fence. You're going to have to make a decision. And if you talk about separation, and when you talk about you want to have a righteous community and rights, then what you going to do with the people that ain't righteous? You going to separate from them? Now you have separated. So now you become the oppressor. Don't let them in. Okay. They poor. So I'm just saying, yes, it got to be a balance. Don't throw away the ballot. But man, every ballot came about because of the bullet. When you get there where you need to be, then you start voting with a Democrat. And let me tell you, when you put people in office and when they know if they betray you, they will get that bullet. I guarantee you, you will get leadership that's more accountable to the people.
Good deal. Good. We got. We gotta keep this thing going. Will, I see your hand, Cassandra. I know I said I was gonna come to you, but I'm gonna give Leonard the opportunity to respond to what was just said. Leonard, what's on your heart?
Well, I completely understand, and that's why no one follows really a lot of that type of thinking. Because a true revolution has to happen. The revolution begins in the mind. It ain't about me loving you and wanting to sit you and hold your hand. It's about living on this piece of land without killing one another. But if you're so committed to killing one another, you don't sound no different than the people that started killing folk. I mean, I don't see it as any different than what the opposition is about. See, the people that don't want peace will never champion peace. They will never champion true peace because they don't really want it. Those people that really don't want it are not going to participate because they would prefer to fight. Just like the opposition. They prefer a civil war, just like the opposition would prefer. So let decent people rise up and support their interests. If you wake up every day thinking somebody trying to kill you and watching you and waiting for you to this, that, you might be a little paranoid and borderline schizophrenic. Actually, you just might do that. You might be that. I lived in some rough hoods and every day, and you walk out the house, even with knowing the danger was out there, I didn't feel like that. When people was dying all around, I didn't feel like that. So why am I sitting now and all I got to do is vote? I ain't go out there. I can't go out to the street and prove nothing to nobody at all. I don't have to cower down because other people are coward and they want to accept the status quo and they don't believe anything will change and there's no use in trying to do the right thing. See, when you succumb to that type of thinking, you are always being ready for war. Always. And that is what we're trying to fight against.
Is it a bad thing to be ready for war, even though a war is not going to happen? Is it a bad thing to be prepared?
No, there's nothing wrong with a great preparation.
Okay.
However, if that is keeping you from living life abundantly, there's some problem there that needs to be addressed about your perspective. I don't care what anybody says. You talk about it after I'm dead and gone. It's not going to change that way.
And I want to apologize to everybody that's listening. Something is going on with the system. It's a little choppy today.
Very choppy.
Typically, it certainly isn't that way. We like to put out the best product that we can, but like I said, it's something going on. Something going on with the system. I have no idea. It's been like that the last couple of days actually. So we're actually going to change over. We got a new system that we're going to change over to. So Monday, come back and join us again Monday, and I guarantee you, it certainly won't be this way. We're gonna implement our new system come Monday. And so, like I said, I do want to apologize for the choppiness that's going on. I do understand that it's not as crisp and as clear as it usually is. Want to apologize. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
And I would like to go back. Somebody was talking when I came back on about the from Mississippi.
Yes.
Cheering up this panel, and then Liz Cheney. Right there, have two dynamics you would never be. A black man and a white woman, a committee like that. And that was in you would. I commend, and I'm so proud of coming from Mississippi. My God, he instilled so beautifully, and he was adamant. What he said, he didn't, and to me, he volumes in three ways because I've been yelling and screaming at the same time, you know. But
please mute your phone, whoever that is.
Liz woman, Cheney literally has given up her career in politics trying to stand for what is right. We got to give that girl that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Literally, in the how she would not go along with the status quo. She would go along.
And these are from two opposing sides.
Trying to stand for what was right. I commend her for that.
Absolutely.
And it's great that Miss Cassandra brought that up, Raheem, because you see, look at those folks there who have other issues.
Hold on, Leonard. Hold on, brother. I got. Let me pull some more people in. You know, I want to be fair with the time. Let me go to Willa. Willa, what's on your heart, sis? On my end, there you go. Now we're back. Go ahead, Willa. What's on your heart?
Okay, I know I had shared with you guys that I went to school during the time when the schools were desegregated. So from grad, I went to a Dowite school on the north side of Chicago. Well, long story short, there was a teacher during our senior year. We had for our president, vice president, secretary, and all that stuff, like that. So what she did was she taught us the voice of voting. So now some people might look at this to be wrong, but like when there are multiple black people running or multiple white people running, what she did was she got all the black people together and she showed us how we individually voted during that time to make that powerful vote at the end more powerful. So what she did was she said that when you have more than color running, if you see somebody that's skilled, their knowledge, you get together because there's power in numbers. So what I wanted to say was that she taught us how to vote and win. So I just wanted to put something so people can understand that when you got multiple colors vote, and sometimes they do that to split the vote. But if you individualize, vote on the right person, you put the right person in there. That's how voting becomes more powerful.
Yes.
That's how we change things. Because we want to change something. We don't want something to always stay the same.
Absolutely.
And that's what I want to say.
Good deal. Good deal. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Two words come to mind: options and versatility. The thing is that the vote has worked before in major ways. The ballot has worked in huge ways, and sometimes it didn't. But if you saw that it did work, you don't want to discredit that. The bullet has worked too. So I have to look at things. I have to look at history and observe. Then I have to look at it today and see what works and move accordingly. Both of those things in mind. And then I use both tactics. There's a time and a place for everything. So in a civilized world, if you came up with a way that we didn't have to live, and we could sort of put the guns down, things a little differently with a ballot, then you know what? That's more peaceful. I'll take that route. But I still know what my options are.
Rico, would you trust?
Take that gun.
Would you be trusting if people said put the gun down and strictly rely on the ballot? How trusting would you or other people be?
I wouldn't strictly do one of them. See, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Got you.
Listening. As I'm listening, the more this conversation goes on, it's either or. I ain't no sheep. I ain't fixing to do no either or. I'm gonna do both. There's a time and place for everything. I'm gonna use your system that you use to work against you if that's what's in place, because that's what has worked before. I've seen it work before, and I'm gonna use that gun too when the time comes, by any means necessary.
Yeah.
So as I'm listening, I'm seeing more of the psychological thing that happens of why we can't stay together the way we supposed to. It's like because we got to choose one side or the other. When both work.
Yeah.
But even though the boat didn't work all the time, the gun ain't worked all the time. You had some failed assassination attempts. John Hinckley. So I mean, you know, the thing is whatever needs to be done when the time comes, don't be coward enough not to do it. Be brave. Like the insurrection. We might have did. But guess what they did? They showed up in numbers. And they did something that the ordinary man wouldn't do. They did something that the coward wouldn't do. See, most cowards sit back and talk the talk, but they won't walk the walk. They walk that walk. So that's the only thing. And some of the same things. You know, we walking around here that don't kill people. We seen it on video, and they still walking around free. Look at George Zimmerman. He's still living. Ain't nobody did nothing. Because we distracted. And look, I'm just going to make a comment. I don't want anybody to take this kind of way. But I do think it's easy for us to get distracted by romanticism.
Okay.
I'm not going to praise that man because that's what they were elected to do, honestly. So them doing what they're supposed to do, honestly, I ain't going to give them no praise, because the most important thing is they're doing what they're supposed to do, but will the job get accomplished of this purpose? See, what's more important right now, it don't matter how eloquent they spoke. It don't matter what color he's from Mississippi. It don't matter about Lee's China. None of that matter, even though and we do know that's what they were elected for. If they did anything less, they wouldn't be doing their job. So I'm not going to praise them for something they were already elected. Their recognition comes from being elected. But we don't got so far off track to the point where we feel like we need to praise people for doing what they were already supposed to do. And so what's going to happen after this hearing, if these people get cleared and nothing happens, are we going to be thinking about how proud we are of this guy from Mississippi and how are we going to be thinking about that? Or are we going to be thinking about the miscarriage of justice? Because ain't none of that going to matter.
Gotta keep
the
it
only
going.
thing that matters about what we saw last night is what the outcome is going to be.
Good deal. Good deal.
I'm
You gotta
glad
keep it going. Rico, gotta keep it going, brother.
I'm glad Mississippi is doing it.
Good deal. Good deal. Ibrahim, I see your hand over there, brother. I see your hand. What's on your heart?
Got me muted. You got me muted.
No, you're not. Go ahead. No, you're not. Go ahead.
Oh, you okay? I'm not now. Okay. Yeah. Let's stop talking about this coward stuff and all like that, right? Because I don't know anybody here that's all like that, right? Now I'm gonna say something, right? Y'all don't know me, but you can go on all of my Facebook pages, right, website, and see where I am. I'm a man, boots on the ground. I go to the front line, right? And I try to stop stuff from going on. I've done a lot of stuff around Atlanta and Georgia and different parts of the country, right? I've been there, done that. But let me tell you something, right? It took a lot of courage for Fannie Lou Hamer, you know, to go up there to get her vote and sit in the Mississippi Democratic Convention chair and sit in there, right? It took her a lot of will. She almost gave up her life twice doing that. Martin Luther King, he was bombed 5 or 6 times. They tried to bomb him 5 or 6 times and failed, right? Whatever you want to call it is, right? We talk about Christianity. We talk about this. Malcolm X talked about it, 63. He said, regardless of our religious beliefs, and regardless of what we stand for, let's stand together. If you stand, you know, and we talking about the American Revolution, right? Benjamin Franklin made a statement. You know, he said either the person that gives up his freedom for safety deserves neither. Now, Martin Luther King also said a man that don't have nothing to die for don't deserve to live. You know what I mean? So if we're going to talk about these people and like that Malcolm X and all that, and what was the original Black Panther Party out there, you talk to Bobby Seale. Those programs would get people to vote, collectively to vote people out of the community, vote people in the community, right? So all these analogies that people use, to me, it just seemed like I was there. I was alive then. I was aware. I was conscious of what was going on around me, right? And to hear this backward thinking, right? Let me tell you something. Collectiveness. You had to come together, right? If you want to form a government, government's not formed by individuals routing out and calling people out, being cowards, right? You know, you can't call, you know, you can call me that if you want to. My words speak for itself. You can tell a man by the tree, by the fruit the tree bears, by the fruit they bears, right? Not by innuendos, not by conversation, right? Check my record. You know what I mean? Check the records of these people. He come from Mississippi. You know how, you know, his life is in danger every time he opened his damn mouth. Hey, man, I'm real, you know, I gotta say. But that man deserves respect because his life is at risk. His life is being a senator or congressman in Mississippi. His life at risk for opening his mouth and holding his trial. You know, the people in Mississippi sitting back, say they watching him, say, yeah, I got you. You gotta come back home one day. You gotta come back in the state of Mississippi. The state truth, man, look here, man. Please, please, please. Let's get away from these self-accusations and accusing ourselves for not standing up and stand up. Y'all here? How many people on here been shot? I have. How many people done face the Ku Klux Klan fully dressed? I have. You know, and I can prove it out. I can prove it out the people that was there with me. You know what I mean? We old now, but we still encouraging y'all to do forward. What y'all can do something. The worst thing you can do is do nothing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you believe in that, you want to take up the gun, I tell you what, take up the gun, I'll meet you and I'll go with you with the gun. If you want to organize people to vote, I go with you to organize a vote. You want to stop violence community, go in your community and control your community.
Good deal. Hold right there, brother Ibrahim. We're gonna keep this thing going. VP, what's on your heart, brother?
Hey, sir. I'm out walking and doing push-ups. But being Willow hit it the best for where I'm trying to. When President Obama was elected, I think that was the first time in collective many years.
Go ahead, bro.
Showed again that there's still a big tension.
VP can't hear you. He can't hear you, VP. Hey, hold on, he can't hear you.
Yeah, I got him now. I got him now. Go ahead, VP. I got you.
Yeah, so after President Obama, America showed its real ambition again, because although one side thought America was ready for a change and they put Hillary in the ballot, it showed that they want a white woman to lead it. So they lost to Trump. Trump came in, showed America, people felt to actually see what they needed. And then we see how America never really changed. And we're making it sound like, you know, years, maybe 60 years since laws have made it where people think it's regular. But human beings are still human beings, and they still teach the way they teach. So for them to get the upper hand, they put a black woman and a white man, because Joe Biden wouldn't have won on his own. And Kamala Harris wouldn't have won on it. And you had a nation that was dividing itself, because the true nature of what this country really was built off of is really starting to show its head again. That's why we're talking about guns, because this nation is really starting to see that the only way it can keep it is by being violent. Now on this phone call can talk that big boy stuff, but if this U.S. military decides, it's game over. It don't matter how many guns you got. That's why they want this Second Amendment, so they can try to convince all these people that if we fight, if the military jumps up, we got something to prove. You can't beat planes. You can't beat ships. I don't know how we forgot that I think it's 1987, on a building, the New York Police Department. You don't think the U.S. military ain't watching this and saying, you know what, we won't drop bombs in Wisconsin and Michigan,
yes, they will.
In New York City, if it's going to threaten if it don't threaten the economy and the money, because it's the money. They don't care about how you feel. They're going to beat in your chest. But if you start messing with this money, because it's not Congress that runs this, it's corporations.
Yep.
If you're messing with corporations, you're messing with this system that we have.
Now we're going to switch up, y'all. I think we've milked that pretty good. I think we milked that one pretty good. So we're gonna switch up right now. It is 9:34. So for a couple of Fridays we did a thing. What would you do if? What would you do if? So we're gonna start it off right now, and let's see where I want to go. I'm gonna start it off. Let's see who I'm gonna start it off with. Okay, Badger.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you, what would you do if? Can I ask you? Badger?
I'm ready.
Okay, you got to say,
hear me?
yeah, you got to say yes, you can, brother. You got to say yes, you can.
Oh, yes, we can. I'm sorry.
Okay, Badger, what would you do if you was walking down the street there in your state, in the state of Texas, and you heard gunfire going on inside of a school? Now you don't have a weapon with you, and you look around, you're the only one there that you can see on the street. What would you do?
Its lives are more important than mine. Because they're the ones that are going to inherit everything.
Okay. So you were going to the building, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been shot before. It don't hurt that much.
Well, I don't want to have experience, so I don't want to compare notes with you, brother. Okay. Now the floor is open. You got everybody that's here. Who do you want to ask? What would you do if?
So
pick somebody, Badger.
I know. I'm. Who else here?
You got Leonard, you got Captain, you got Ibrahim, you got Toya, and on the phone line, you got Rico, you got Friday, Curtis, VP, Cassandra, Willa. Pick somebody back. We gotta go. We gotta keep it moving, brother. Pick somebody.
Let's go.
Badge, I'm going to pass you back, brother.
VP.
Okay, VP. Badge, I want to ask you, what would you do if? Can he ask you?
Okay.
Say yes. Say yes. You can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Badger.
Well, you were put in a situation to choose to be a president, the richest man on the planet.
Ooh, I would be the richest person on the planet because then I got influence. I got the money to help persuade the president to make moves that are beneficial for me. So you gave me that option. I'm definitely gonna take the money than taking the because when you're the president, you take the blame for everybody else's mistakes. Even though you may have good ideas, people don't even care. Because one side thinks that you're too dumb to even run the nation, and the other side thinks you're the second coming of Jesus. You can't do no fault. But when you just got money, the people that run the gas, the trillionaires, we don't even think about them. They just stay rich.
Wow.
But every day we visited them. But
Exactly.
I'm gonna pick
the money.
Oh no, I'm picking money. I should have picked another person.
Okay, go ahead. Who are you gonna pick? You got Leonard. You got
I'm gonna go with
Cassandra.
Yes, he can.
Okay, let me ask you a question though, Cassandra. Good Lord, VP want to ask you. VP want to ask you, what would you do if? Can he ask you? And you already said yes, you can. So go ahead, VP.
No, he can't. Oh, okay.
VP.
Hey, Ray. Miss Cassandra, given
yes,
say you're putting this hypothetical, you're putting in a situation where you have three choices and you got to make one of them. Or possession, or worldly possession. But during this, you get anything you want. But you would have to give up a love of your life.
Nope.
Pick up one of those. Even though it's gonna give you everything that you're looking for, even when
no. The person you're talking about, a person that I love, right? Or
yes, a person. So you're giving up a thing. You're giving up a person to gain a thing.
No.
But the thing is also gonna give you what this person gives you.
No, because a thing cannot give me what the people that I love give me. No, I don't want it. I don't want it. No. No.
Wow. Okay. Cassandra, who you select?
Brother Ibrahim.
Ibrahim, you there?
Oh, yes, I am. I'm here. Oh, you got me muted. Okay, yeah.
No. Ibrahim, you're not muted,
here.
brother. Cassandra want to ask you, what would you do if? Can she ask you? If
Yes,
she can,
she
say yes, she can.
Yes, she can.
There you go, Cassandra.
Brother Ibrahim, what would you do if you had the opportunity to speak? Okay, let me see. I want to speak to the Senate that you're passionate about.
What would you do if you had that opportunity, and what would that subject be?
I would go up there and speak. I would go tell them exactly what's on my mind and tell them, you're not my leader, you're my representative. This is a republic. I would tell them that. I would start with that, number one. And your people are asking you to do thus, you know, or my people asking you to do thus. Let my people go.
I love it.
Good deal. Good deal.
Thank you,
Ibrahim,
yes.
Ibrahim, you have an opportunity. You can ask somebody a question. Who do you select?
I would select Leonard.
Leonard? Ibrahim want to ask you, what would you do if?
Sure.
Can he? Okay. Say yes, he can.
Okay.
Yes, he can.
Good deal. Good deal. Go, Ibrahim.
Leonard, I would like to ask you, what would you do if you were standing in front of the masses of Black people and everything that you believed in has failed? What would you say to them?
I really didn't understand the question in the beginning, what he said.
Okay.
If I was what?
I think he said,
if you were
go ahead,
standing
say it again, Ibrahim.
You were standing upon the masses of American Black people.
Stop right there. What was that word you said? If I was doing what?
If you were standing in front of let's say a legion of Black people.
Okay.
Of Black people, yeah.
And to speak to them, and everything that you believed in has failed. What would be the main topic that you would say to them or tell them?
Oh, I would encourage him to a new horizon, a new strategy, a new plan to move forward, despite anything else.
What would be the new plan if everything else that you believed in or have championed has failed?
Well, I don't think it would fail, but it would be a plan of my own.
Like you said, like, what is the plan?
To pursue life more abundantly.
Okay, that's general enough.
Okay, Leonard, who you select? And Toussaint just came back in too, so he's available as well.
Captain Dennis.
Captain, we just lost him a second ago.
Okay, let's go with Toussaint.
Toussaint, Leonard want to ask you, what would you do if? Can he ask you?
Yeah.
Don't be scared, brother. Don't be scared.
Toussaint, what would you do if you were the chairman of this January 6th committee?
Oh, this time you're supposed to start. Time you're supposed to start talking, brother. Time you're supposed to start talking.
Chairman. Well, first of all, I have to understand what my job is. Basically, I don't know. It's to make sure that everything's done in order according to the way that it's supposed to be handled. I don't think it would be in my control, but I don't know. But the only thing that I could do as chairman, right?
Yeah.
Is to make sure that everything is done according to the laws that are at hand to the T. Not veering to the left or to the right, just straight down the middle. That way, there shouldn't be any error in the process. That's just my answer.
Wow, good deal. Toussaint, who you going to?
So what's the question? I got it.
No. You ask your own question. You ask your own question. You pick somebody and ask, what would you do if? And whatever the question is, you make up your own question.
Oh.
So you got the ones that hadn't been asked. You got Toya, you have Rico, VP.
Yeah, gotta go Rico.
You going with Rico?
Don't just stop right there. Yes, sir. No, yes, sir. Okay. So
Rico, hold on. Rico.
Yeah, actually.
Toussaint want to ask you, what would you do if? Can he ask you? If he can, say yes, he can.
Of course.
Okay. Toussaint.
So Rico, the trial's over, and you are the ones that the final judgment calls on who's guilty and who's for what the trial has revealed. What would be your sentence to the people that were found guilty from the president on down?
I would say exile them or incarcerate them for the lift of their eyes, because they are a danger to the Constitution, and they are the first. And I don't know how long to actually attempt to just throw away the whole election system. I mean, they actually tried to turn over the elect.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if you don't nip that in the bud right now, somebody's gonna try something that's gonna work a little bit better the next time. They might do it with hacking. So many different ways they can do it electronically. Somehow somebody's gonna find it comfortable enough to try it again, based on how these people are sending. So I would throw the book at it.
Mm-hmm.
Huge book.
Good deal. Good deal. And Captain just came back with it, so he's available as well. Rico, who you going to?
Well, man, first off, man, let me say Donald answered that question so good, man. The one he answered, is like simple and logical.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you just have to get back to a place where you just think plain and simple. You ain't got to think too deep sometimes, because it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask. Let me ask Willa.
Willa, you there?
Yeah, right here.
Okay, Rico want to ask you, or what would you do if? Can he ask you?
Yes, he can.
Rico?
Now, this is going to sound familiar.
Uh-oh.
What would you do if you walked past a school or a building and you heard people shoot? And I couldn't help it. That was such a good question that I had to ask it again, because
That's good.
a lot of people probably have never thought what they would do in that situation. So what would you do if you happened to be in that situation?
That's a great question, Rico, because I have thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
If that hadn't been me there, I would have tried to find any kind of way I could to get in that school past all authorities and anybody else to save the people that were in there.
Mm-hmm.
I would have did that. I might have jeopardized my life, but that's something that I would have did. I couldn't have stood out there and waited.
Mm-hmm.
I would have ran in some kind of way, thinking first before I did that, because it would be stupid for me to run in there. I get shot and I ain't did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would have did, Rico.
Good deal. Good deal.
And I ask your question.
Okay. Good deal. We got Willie, you pick someone. We have Captain. We have, let me see what we got here. We got Captain. We have VP. We have Curtis. No, we don't have VP. VP asked the question. We have Captain. We have Curtis. Who else we got here?
That's Curtis.
You going to Curtis? Curtis, you there? Curtis, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, Willa want to ask you, or what would you do if? Can she ask you?
We're going right. Yes, she can.
Willa?
Curtis, if you were the mayor of Chicago and you knew that there was a lot of shooting going on, what that issue or attempt to resolve that issue?
Well, that's a phenomenal question.
Yes, it is.
And sometimes you got to look at other folks, even if you have a different ideology than them, to help you solve problems. So the first thing I would do is I would call Governor Christie. I would call to the table And I would have them reach out to every source that they had, remembering that if you remember when Cory Booker, they had a moratorium on murder and gun violence. And I would find out whatever they did, I would call forth their resources. Now, knowing history, what they did was Cory Booker went to the jail and met with all the OGs. He met with every single one of them and sat down and asked them, look, I need 45 to get some things straight, and we can't do it with all of this murder and mayhem going on.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, I would have him get on the phone with his OGs that's in Movers and Shakers and Shot Callers in Newark. I would have Governor Christie get on the phone with his movers and shakers and shot callers. And then I would call all the movers and shakers and shot callers in the city of Chicago to the table. Basically lay it out for them. Look, here's what's going on. These are the lives that's being destroyed. We can't have this. We need some time.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to get them involved, make them feel just as much responsible.
Exactly. Now, Curtis, you have you have Toya with a T, you have Captain, and you have Friday.
We go Toya.
Toya with a T. Curtis want to ask you, what would you do if? Can he ask you?
Yes, sir.
Curtis?
Toya, if Toya says attorney in his position with the evidence that you have received and will receive, would you move to prosecute?
I'm sorry. What for? What for the insurrection trial? You said.
Use the attorney general who is in charge of the DOJ with the evidence that you just been presented and the evidence that is yet to come out, the evidence that you move to prosecute.
Oh, absolutely. There's a list of charges that just from video, I think, we would see, a couple of breaking and entering, criminal trespass, destruction of government property. If nothing else, those would be 3 of them right there. You're looking at about 12 years just with that. My thing would be going either for the treason or whatever law they would have on the book for insurrection, which that part I didn't get to. But absolutely.
I think Toya froze up.
Yes.
There you go.
We pressing charge.
Good deal.
12 to 14 years minimum.
Wow. Good deal. Toya, you have Captain and you have Friday.
I'm gonna pass the ball to Friday.
Okay. You gotta ask your question.
Yeah. Okay. So Friday, I'm gonna
hold on. Friday. Toya, want to ask you, what would you do if? Can she ask you?
Yes, she can.
Okay, Toya.
So Friday, we're going to stay on the lines of this insurrection trial. And if you were a lawyer that they were looking for to defend them and they offered you a blank check to defend those people on the trial, would you do it? And if so, what would be your defense?
If I was a lawyer tasked to defend or presented the assignment to defend, obviously I'm already a defense attorney. So then, although would I defend? Yes. And because that's my job to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my defense that I would create for them, that's a little bit challenging in a couple minutes. But I would probably lean trying to find room in their right to disagree,
mm-hmm.
and their right to assemble as some of the basis of the points to defend.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Do my job.
Good deal. Well, Friday, you need to ask Captain a question. Captain, Friday want to ask you, what would you do if? Can she ask you? If it's yes, say yes, she can. Captain, I see you talking, but we can't hear you. It's a bad connection. I see you talking, but the thing is moving, but we can't hear you. Go out and come right back in for me real quickly. Okay, we're gonna get him back in here Friday. Give me 1 second. We'll get him back in here, and this give you a time to get your question together there Friday. Give you just a few minutes to get your question together. Though you'll probably already have it. But we'll wait on him to get back in, and I just heard the little sound, so. Give me 1 little second.
Hey, Raheem.
Yes, sir.
Look, if you got enough time after this question, man, you think you could go around and ask everybody what they would have done if they had been there when during the George Floyd incident? You know, I don't like to forget that.
Yeah, I got you. Yes, sir. And we just lost Captain again. So hold on for a second. Let me see. Can I get him back in here? We got about 3 more minutes before the top of the hour. I'm trying to get him back in here. So Friday, do you have your question already?
I do.
Okay, hold on. I just heard it come back in. Hold on. See, can we get him back in here so you can ask the question? There he is.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There he is. There he is. Friday, your question.
Captain, what would you do if your children and children's children was subjected to, because of legislation, when they had children, not being defined their gender?
Wow.
Man, just say it again one more time, please.
What would you do if your children were subjected, due to legislation, being restricted of defining their child's gender on the birth certificate?
Wow.
Well, that's a very good question.
She hit hard with that one.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you let those who legislate your lifestyle, your religion, your gender, when that is legislated and those legislators does not fit or conformity to your practice, then you have to do what you have to do to reinforce your children that that's man's law, but that's not God's law. And we have to get them prepared for sometimes for things that comes against them that's anti, and built their self-esteem up to let them know no matter what any legislation come, they're still human beings and they're still loved. And with that, I think they will grow and flourish.
Good deal. Good deal. Brother, you knocked that one out the park. That's a tough one there. That's a tough one. Now, Captain, everybody's open right now. So you get to pick who you want to ask the question. What would you do if who you want to select?
You.
I knew you was gonna do that. I don't know how I knew you was gonna do that. Well, I knew it. Well, I gotta get up and walk away. Soon as I said I gotta get up and walk away. Go ahead. What's your question? Yes, you can.
Are you going to accept it?
Yes, you can. Yes, absolutely.
All right. If you was God, and you see the world in the shape that it's in right now, what would you do to try to correct it? If you want to correct it, what would you do?
That's a heck of a question. And when you said if you were God, that kind of shook me a little bit out of woo, just to think that way. I would do exactly the truth of the matter what he did the first time. I would send a representative of myself as an example to the people, what they need to do, how they need to do, and how they need to get back to a certain. There's certain things that we as human beings, and I'm gonna say it the way Toya said, us as human beings have got away from, and that's love, honor, respect, and different things of that. I would send an example of what that looks like, so people could pattern themselves and mold themselves back to the original as to what it was and what it should look like. And so I would send a quote unquote a Jesus, if you will, to come back as an example to lead the people to where they need to be?
Good one. Lead them back to the right path. I like that.
Exactly.
Thank you for that.
Exactly.
Thank you for that answer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Boy, you hit me hard with that one. I was like, whoo. I know Rico wanted to ask a question, man, but we already at 10:01. Rico, what was your question?
It was just a response of to the question you asked about what would you do if you had been an eyewitness to what was going on with George Floyd that day, watching that man with a knee on his neck. But let me say, all y'all had some awesome answers and awesome questions today, man. I mean, I don't know what y'all got going on, but man, those are some deep questions, man, especially those last two.
Yes, sir.
And all the responses, man. I mean, y'all, man, that's some terrific stuff, y'all.
That's and you know, we hadn't done that. What would we do if for a couple of weeks? And it was just laid on my heart, man, to do it again today. But Captain, somebody just made a request and they wanted to ask you a question. I'm not gonna tell you who it is, but can I ask you a question? If you just say yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Toussaint?
We know that society and mainly religion has some issues. Now, I'm professing to be Christian. If you woke up in the morning, suddenly you was elected to a Black Baptist church pastor.
Toussaint? Toussaint, you there?
Yeah, you didn't hear me?
I didn't hear the last part. Last part I heard was Black Baptist Church.
Okay, so if Captain, if you know we got some issues now, and I admit that for real. If you woke up in the morning and all of a sudden you found out that you was elected or selected to lead a Baptist church, what would you do? How would you conduct yourself?
Well, that's I don't know if you know, but they said Captain D is really a frustrated Baptist preacher. So
you sure sound like one.
So you know, I just went with the Muslims because I'm a frustrated Baptist preacher. But anyway, I would say this, my brother. I would try to lead the people into the example of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And I would do my best to live up to the tenets of the scripture that we may be an example of Christ and take the people out of the church, because the church is a building, and take them into the streets like Jesus did, in the highways and the byways, and preach the gospel in the street and not in the suites. And I think we would do that. We would make the people see the reality of God by our demonstration as an example of God. That's what I would do, brother.
Good deal. Good deal. Now, Toussaint, he over there laugh. I don't know what that laugh. I don't know what that laughter is, brother. He over there.
No, I'm not, man. Look, see, if I had one open, I'd vote you in right now.
Anybody want to tackle Rico's question this morning? What would you? And it was, if you was in the George Floyd situation, what would you all do? Anybody jump in and answer that question for me? If you was a witness to that.
I would have went to federal prison, parking check.
Badger said he would have gone to prison. Anybody else?
I would have put off in his neck.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think initially the first 3 minutes get off, but once I see the majority, then the mob in, then I probably would have done something. But I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I'm gonna be a hero off the rip because I didn't know.
Okay, that's honest. That's honest. Anybody else? Rico, what would you have done? Rico, you there?
Yeah.
What would you have done?
I would have did like those guys did in California. There's trash cans, bottles, all kind of things we're doing uncomfortable without actually, you know what I'm saying, risking your life. And it sort of makes me think of what Willa said earlier when the question about the school, because I would have did the same thing. You know, I don't know if anybody has ever been in a situation where they had to act and do something that the average person wouldn't do, which is probably save somebody's life. I don't know if anybody's ever had to jump in the swimming pool and didn't know how to swim, but they still had to save that life, and they risked their life. I took a risk and did that. So I know me, I wouldn't be able to just stand there and wait around and look and see what's going on. I'm always going to try to find a way.
That's good. That's good. And on that note, Rico, what's going on at 3 o'clock today, sir?
Man, if you missed today's broadcast and would like to see a rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Rico, you're right, man. There was some great questions asked there on what would you do if, man. There was some great questions today. I hope the answers fit the level of the questions, man, because there were some excellent questions. But right now, I got to say it. Man, dang on it. Rico Willa just hung up. Rico.
Well, you know she's coming back. You know, man, this is what time it is. I don't think she did that intentionally. She's definitely coming back.
No, she's there. I'm just picking at you, brother. I'm just picking at you. She's right there.
Don't be saying like that, man.
Stop saying right here. You know this my favorite part of the show.
There you go.
Our Father.
There you go. Willa! Are you ready?
I am so ready.
Are you
receive the word of God?
Well,
I am so ready right here.
Let's go, Willa. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Father God, Lord, we thank you, Lord. Father, we thank you for such a wonderful and beautiful day, Lord. Father, thank you for allowing us to commune one to another. Thank you for the wisdom and the guidance that you give us, Lord. Father, we love you and honor you on this morning, Lord. Thank you for all you do in our lives. Father, you said it, no weapon formed against us will prosper. Father, you said it in your word to lean not to our own understanding. Said it in your word that by your stripes that we're healed. Father, in the name of Jesus, somebody might be asking for prayer and you ask for it. But Father, you already know. Father, we know you know all things. You're orchestrating, planning in our lives, Lord. I'm asking you to touch each and every last one that's on this line, Lord. Keep their families safe, Lord. Allow the angels to be encamped around them, oh Lord. Father, we thank you so much for what you do in our lives, Lord. We love you, we honor you, and we glorify you in Christ Jesus' name. Amen, amen, amen. Lord, for morning glow. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen, amen, amen. There we go, y'all. It's been a great week. It's been a great week. We're at the bottom of the week. Hope everybody had a great week, and I hope that you'll have a great weekend. Get together and do some things. Hold on. Ibrahim, you want to say something? Ibrahim, I can't hear you, brother. Ibrahim, I cannot hear you.
Hold up.
Ibrahim, he's trying to say something. Can't hear him though. So hopefully, go out and come back in, brother. If you can come back in before.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. I hear you now.
Yeah. You know, I would like to get a phone number where I can reach you. You know, during your off hour. You know, you can say you can
say it again.
Me to my, I want your phone number where I can reach you off hours. You know, because we were talking about
I get it.
You know, to follow up. Yeah, on Messenger, it'd be good.
Yes, sir. I got you. Soon we get finished, I'll send it over to you. Yes, sir. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now 10:11. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me 2 favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number 2, why this is real simple, I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. That we shine some of this light of you from the morning glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other, and please, please, please be blessed. Love you. Take care.
Raheem,
Yes.
did you get the package that I sent you?
I did. I sure did. I meant to call and tell you. Absolutely. I sure did.
Make sure people get it for me.
I would do that. I would do that. And do you want to tell them? Do you want to tell them what it's all about? What it was? Do you want to tell them? Do you want to let the cat out the bag, or you want to hold on to it for a minute?
Now let them be surprised.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. All right. Y'all have a great day. Again, take care of each other. Have a great weekend. Love you. Be strong for yourself and for each other. Take care.